Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the finals. The GT4 rookies and the GT4 Open are going to come to a conclusion tonight, and what a sad conclusion it will be. But it's not about the destination, Saagar, it's about the journey, and I tonight am going to be, I guess, your host on that journey, Mike Nause, and joined alongside me, as I alluded to, Saagar Bakshi. Saagar, how are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm great, Mike. Thank you so much for asking. And it's not about the journey, it's about the friends you make along the way, or the vehicles that you may have touched along the way for this championship. We've got a heated battle coming at you. Battle for P1 and P2 from Aaron Silva to Alex Hansen. Mario Jr. is in third. Pedro Artoni's in fourth. Jaeger Caro, Jeff Franks, Dr. Porkchop rounding out your top seven. And boy, am I excited to see this wonderful lineup of racers go after it for the final time of this season. But that's not it, is it, Mike?
No, it is not it. In fact, well, I guess it is. I mean, it is going to be it. We do have the GT4 Open later tonight. That's what you're getting on for. Of course, we have the finals for the GT4 Open. How could I be so brash? And, well, I guess not. I don't know. Anyways, we're a bit tired tonight. We're just going to continue on the motive here and roll on with the punches. But yes, the GT4 Fall Open coming to a conclusion tonight, and the championship, I think, has wrapped up. Just looking at the standings here, over on the SimGrid, Ali Raza, 372 points to the 288 points of Justin Beachley. But Justin Beachley, George Elmer, and Cronotis still in a bit of a melee. But in terms of, as you said, Saagar, the GT4 Open, it is, or Fall, excuse me, the rookies, we have Aaron Silva battling with Alex Hansen in this championship battle. And if maths serve us correctly, it'll have to be about 3 positions, give or take, back. But also, we haven't fully decided that because we don't remember if it's scored on individual races or if it's scored on the final race.
I believe, if I can determine that on my own, mathing the math correctly, because if Ali Raza has 372 points to his name for just driving single races, it looks like we're doing double down on points because Aaron Silva has 541, so almost double that for this championship for the GT4 rookie. So I would count that as 2 races. So really, it could be separated by 1 position forward, 1 position backwards every single race. So Alex Hansen's going to have his work cut out for him right now, and if he wants to get a shot at Aaron Silva to get him knocked back a peg, and that'll actually be a tie in the championship if it works out that way.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. That makes sense, to be completely honest. And Squashmonger asking in chat, did I listen to When It Rains? I'll be honest, Saagar and I spent about 5 minutes deliberating on which song you were saying, because we looked it up, and the problem is there's about 500,000 different songs involving rain, either When It Rains, Rain and Men, or just the song Rain, which is what we ended up settling on listening to by Zero, because apparently Saagar was listening to that in his childhood, and, you know, it was what it was. But yes, please DM that to me so I do remember, because and I don't remember who it was. That's what it was. We didn't know who it was because there are like 30 different versions. Yeah. And so, yeah, if you DM it to me, I'll give it a listen. We did try, but we ended up settling on Rain by Zero. So, you know, that just is what it is. But Saagar, I think we've rambled on enough here. Why don't we get on down here? Just a real quick thank you to all of our patrons before we get down to the championship. All of their wonderful names are on screen right now. Special thanks to the V12 Exotics. Also, of course, the V8 Muscles, Inline 4, and all of the donors that contribute in any way, shape, and or form, including Kali Official, who dropped a sub for 10 months. That's almost a year. My goodness. Thank you so much for your continued support, Kali. And we thank you all for supporting us here at TRACKILICIOUS, just even if you are a viewer. But now, why don't we get on down to the action here very, very shortly, as in now.
Getting down on it. We are watching Jaeger Caro, Alex Hansen, and then Chris Sunderson, the first of the 3 drivers in that first session to go out. The even plates went out first, and now we're seeing the odds finally come down to it. And Aaron Silva is not faced with a disqualification. Neither is Alex Hansen. So both drivers are battling for track position overall. Jaeger Karu, top of the times right now by nearly 1.5 seconds in first place with a 205.175. So that shows that there's quite some pace to be had in front of Alex Hansen. We'll have to watch out for which driver will be able to slot in between first and second place right now.
Indeed, and will that driver be Aaron Silva? As Will Otto in chat is saying, yes, he probably will be. And that is the words of one of the Limit Road fans, one of the many out in chat. Look right here, right now, says Will, there is the man himself trying to compete for the title. And as of now, he's a little bit slower than Alex Hansen, his rival in this championship. He is about 2/10 slower. But the track ever rubbering in is going to fall in his advantage. Now, Jaeger Karu with an excellent lap, setting the pole position here with a 205.1, is going to be obviously very competitive. But the two drivers that we're going to be primarily keeping an eye on, though this is, I mean, we won't be, though. This is the rookies, of course. So we're going to be keeping an eye on absolutely everybody. It's not about the championship here tonight, and even I got to remember that.
Absolutely, and just wanted to point out that Aaron Silva's actually only done that one lap, so that was basically his out lap and then one valid lap. So he's got at least 3 more cracks at this before his times are over and done with. Pedro Artoni from Limit Road, though, finding the gap between Jaeger Karu and Alex Hansen with a 206.7. So if that's any indication of what Aaron Silva is going to be able to produce, it will only be a matter of time. And can Alex Hansen in that little GT4 Porsche be able to put up a battle with the 520, 570, 520? McLaren? Mike?
What? I'm sorry. I don't know. What?
I'll look it up myself, gosh darn it.
Are you talking about the GT4 McLaren and what it's called? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, thank you.
The 650, isn't it? Or 640?
The 570.
It's a 570.
GT4.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We're all wrong here, but that was fine. Thank you
You
very
just
much,
said
Mike
you said like 8 numbers in a row, and I was like, what is this man on about? He's having a stroke right in front of me. Like, this is not ideal. No, okay. Moving on from that, yes, the 570, not the 650, with 570 horsepower, as is the very original McLaren, of course. I know that one's not in. Actually, you're right, and I don't have that car in my. Oh no, I do. 570S. No, it's right there. It's a 3.8.
3.8 V8 twin turbo, 540 horsepower. That one.
Yeah, 562 is what I have wrote down, but it's 570 is what they, because it's the 570S. Anyways, maybe they're just rounding.
Oh,
I think they're just rounding.
to me. ChatGPT lies to me.
Yeah, I think actually you're right on that, because I got that off the McLaren website. ChatGPT, you do got to fact check it every now and then. That's the unfortunate nature of AI, at least at the moment. Which, it's not AI. Anyway, shut up. Anyways, moving on. As we have Mario Jr. getting up there as well. The Limit Road team clearly has practiced and is not limited whatsoever to this road, at least in the Mercedes arena sector, as he gone through now and down into the sweeping curves towards Valvoline and Ford and into the Dunlop hairpin.
Squatchmonger asks, is that a 5.7 liter 0-cylinder like the Ferraris?
It's not. It is. McLaren is not. Look, McLaren is a bit different. You know, they're weird when it comes to. Is there any McLarens on track right now? Aaron Silva is, yes. With this car here, you know, you take a look at it. It's a brilliant looking machine, and this is the 2016 model, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing with McLaren that they often do is they have to have a board meeting for approximately everything, and just, you see that little antenna on the top of the car? That had approximately 7 to 12 different meetings just to get it set in terms of what position it's going to be in, the length exactly, and so McLaren, basically the point that I'm getting at here is McLaren is perfect in every single way, almost too much so sometimes. So when they say 570 on the side and they tell me that that's 570 horsepower, I'm inclined to believe them.
I would be inclined to believe Mike Nause as well over my good friend ChatGPT. Thank you very much for making me look like a fool, ChatGPT. But also, this car features a lot of good aerodynamical components that sister car of the GT3 faces as well. So this thing is going to be good. throughout all the high speed stuff as well as the low speed stuff here at the Nürburgring. Something that I'm really excited to see and how it performs overall. Mike Nause, is there any car that you're excited to see out on track and how they perform?
No, not really. Nothing in particular. I'm just happy to see all the cars out on track, to be honest. GT4s are great. You know, that's one of the things about them is they're all kind of... Yeah, there are the differences. I don't think they're as pronounced, though, as GT3s, where obviously GT3s have very much aerodynamic versus mechanical differences in certain manufacturers. When GT4s, they're all very mechanically inclined anyways. They're not necessarily reliant on that downforce. So I think the variables are a lot less pronounced, but they're still shown. But I just love it. I just love seeing cars drive around in glorified circles, honestly. So I don't really care what time. I'm not rooting for anyone out here tonight.
Oh, no favorites to be picked from you. I'm obviously going to be rooting for the underdog, Alex Hansen, right now. He's got 3 limit road racing cars in front of him, though, to contest with. And I'm sure those boys are going to be using some teamwork between them to try to put Alex Hansen behind them and give Mr. Aaron Silva an opportunity to run forward.
I have to squashmonger. I don't have to do anything. Calm down there. I mean, you know, good on the man, Artoni. He can get up there. He's in 3rd position right now. We're gonna see if Aaron Silva can end up getting the better lap time, though. A 3/10 improvement is necessary, though, to climb ahead of his fellow compatriot and teammate. So a bit of work there to be done. Jeff Franks, a little bit more likely. Actually, Jeff Franks here also on a solid lap. We're going to stick, though, right now with Aaron Silva, as he will be the next driver to come across the line. Heading on up the NGK chicane, and where you would normally, and where later tonight, we'll turn off on to the left to the Nordschleifer. But this time, we head off through the Coca-Cola curve and slingshot our way on to the start-finish straight. And Aaron Silva, what is it going to be here? Heading to the line, it's actually going to be even better than his teammate, up to a 206.1.
206.1, that leaves him about 0.6 difference between himself and Alex Hansen right now. Jaeger Caro with the fastest lap of the race, still at 205.1, a rampaging Jaeger Caro himself. And Mario Jr. in second with a 205.9, 206.1 for Aaron Silva, 206.3 for Artoni. And then Hansen has a 206.7, 207s for the drivers behind, and then trickling down the order all the way down to Jacob Curtis, who I believe has not set a time yet. No, he has not. And neither has Luke Nelson.
DSQs from previous incidents and being a bit naughty for all of those drivers, unfortunately. That is why they're not disqualified from the race, everybody. They're just disqualified from qualifying, so do not fret. If one of your favorite drivers has a DSQ next to their name, there's nothing to worry about. And Alejandro Pulgarin joining us, unfortunately cannot make it tonight. Also joining us on the YouTube side, Alejandro, I did see your message. We just have a bit to talk about tonight. And thank you very much for joining us here on the Twitch side of things and the YouTube side of things as well, of course. And if you guys are interested, one thing I should mention here as we do come to the close of qualifying, if you guys type !5FI, you can head on over to check out our friends over at 5FI, and they are going to be hosting a championship coming up here. So we are going to be having our off season. This is the final race of the championship, of course. Therefore, we are not going to be resuming till next year, more than likely. So keep an eye on the Discord for the calendar. In the meantime, we'll have a couple one-off races here and there. But we highly recommend checking out for our friends over at 5FI with their championship. I have a link to their Discord and their SimGrid in chat, as well as over on the YouTube side. If you check the description, you can find it there as well. And there is going to be a winter championship. So if you have a little bit of off time in the winter, you can go ahead and race against some of the other Trackalicious drivers, as well as some drivers from other leagues, including your man, or my man next to me here, Saagar Bakshi. Which way do I point? Hold on. I'm not looking. That way. There we go.
That way. Yeah, hopefully I'll be out on track with the 5FI guys driving a GT4 Porsche after my favorite driver, Alex Hansen, on the grid right now. So hopefully I can learn a thing or two from the gentleman here tonight, and we'll be doing those 60-minute races in just a couple weeks' time, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you want to come race with us at 5FI, go ahead and join us. Thank you very much, Mike, for that shout out.
Indeed. And I have absolutely no idea how I got this camera angle to go, but I really like it, to be honest. No more races. We do have races this year. We have the Spooky Suzuki coming up on October 30th. Exclamation mark SimGrid for more information and more in the Discord as well. It's a livery contest and a race. You don't need to participate in the livery contest, but you should. You should. But you can just race as well if you would like.
Oh my goodness, Mike Nause. Do you see what's right underneath your face right now? It's my face.
I do, in fact, see your face underneath my face, with your face also on frame as well. So let's get on in here and let's meet our drivers and take a closer look at some of these liveries. Starting us off on pole position, Jaeger Karu, the 920 McLaren 570S, as we have established at this point. Mario Jr. alongside in the AMG GT4, the number 193, top of the charts for Brazil and the Limit Road team. Aaron Silva fighting for the championship in third position and ahead of his rival, who is a bit further down, Pedro Antoni. Separating him and his rival, the 997, is in between him and Alex Hansen, the 390, running in fifth position. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to end up with the title tonight. He's 10 points down. And Dr. Porkchop behind him in sixth. Rally Dutchy, seventh quickest here in the qualifying, with Stefano Rinaldi in eighth. Jeff Franks coming home in ninth position, and rounding out your top 10 in the Audi is Chris Saunderson.
Then following that in P11 is Jacob Curtis from FNM in the number 68 with the Bakshi the Basher livery. Looking good as always. And then we got Luke Nelson in the number 33 in 12th place. Wade Georgian, the 707, flying high in the number in 13th place. John Wad, the number 95, is starting off in 14th place from the pit lane. Wilson Ortiz, the number 58, in 15th position overall. Aaron John, the number 24, in 16th position. Spady Bud, the 221, is in 17th position. And then we have Vicente Morera, the number 84, starting in 18th position overall.
That is going to be 18 drivers on the grid, I suppose, tonight. Some of them starting off in pit lane, some of them on the grid as well. We had a livery deep dive redemption for Jacob Curtis. We also had a livery deep dive for Jaeger Karu. Let's take a look at Jaeger's here real quick, and then we'll get into the Bakshi Basher, and we'll take a real deep dive on that. Let's see the Dark Fox here, as we see the Jaeger Karu's newest livery. Wow, it's kind of the... it's more a smoke, but more of a, like an obsidian black. I don't know what you would call that. It's very nice. I'm hoping this is coming across on stream as well. It is on my computer here. The 920 on the side for the number, but Saagar, look at the also the poly. What is the word? I don't know. There's
polygons.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I love the polygon shapes all around the livery right now. I love that it might just be the wire mesh overlay, to be honest with you, but either way, it's looking good. And I think that satin black looks fresh as heck, man. It looks good on my caddy, and it looks good on this McLaren as well. And he's doing a great job driving this one forward for the end of the season. Jaeger Karu in first place.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, folks. You can see right in front of our face is the face of Jacob Curtis, and right below our faces right now is in fact Saagar Bakshi.
Land on the man, you get the hand, baby. That's absolutely true. Now let's check out that front splitter as well, Mike. Back it up just a bit. I think he's got some more written on it. When you spot him, I spot him. Jacob Curtis from FNM with the raid banner on the side, the anti-social fly club, Bakshi the Basher livery. No flies on us for sure. Oh god, this is one for the books for sure. Jacob Curtis, thank you very much for doing me proud with this livery. That one looks very fly, but
wow, that was bad.
Come on.
No, congratulations, Saagar. Your face has been forever immortalized in a McLaren. No, wait, hold on, an Aston. Wait.
An Aston,
yeah.
yeah.
An Aston, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Was it, who put my face on their car? I can't remember. Was it, I think Vadik did. There's been a couple people that have put my face on their car. It's still, we'll have to throw, somebody's gonna have to throw me that JPEG so I can upload it to the Trackalicious livery folder. I think my face is in the Trackalicious livery folder. If you ever want to use it for any purposes, please use discretion, I suppose. But anyways, let's moving on from that. Jägerkaru is up into the final corner now. Alongside him, Mario Jr., the championship is on the line here for Aaron Silva and Alex Hansen as they get ready. The nerves are going to be high. As we come down the start-finish straight now, looking down towards the first chicane, we are green, green, green for race 1 here of the GT4 Rookies, the finals, and it's a drag race down to the first corner with Jägerkaru in the advantage there slightly, but Aaron Silva creeping up in the back. He gets boxed out, though, by his teammate of Mario Jr., who sends it round to the outside. Full send baseball, and the AMG takes it into the Mercedes arena. Pedro Antoni fighting away behind, trying to defend from Aaron Silva, his teammate. We know there are no team orders for the Limit Road car, and Alex Hansen getting scraps early here is Dr. Porkchop trying to get the move done, but Alex is going to try to fend it off, but he doesn't find the light of day.
Not able to find the light of day. Aaron Silva lost out on one, but so did Alex Hansen. More importantly, he needs to be finishing in front of Aaron Silva to make this all work out in his favor in this championship. Dr. Porkchop was able to gain that one position, and that's all he needed to get a good run on Alex Hansen. There at the first corner, set it up all the way through the Mercedes arena now. He's doing a great job driving this one forward. Side-by-side battle between Luke Nelson and Jeff Franks. Up the inside we go from Luke Nelson's POV on that 33 car, and he's able to snake right on by Jeff Franks.
Not a bad look from Jeff, and whoa, a bit of a hip check there as the Basher boys racing, bashing the polystyrene into the next dimension. He manages to get it back under control as he tries to raid here into the DMs of Chris Saunderson. Let's see. Chris, though, I don't think he's going to allow that in. And no, Chris Saunderson fends it off for now, but it seems the pressure is going to be firmly on as Jacob Curtis continues on the trend of driving at approximately 110%.
Yeah, and he's pushing a little bit too hard. These GT4 cars don't have their tire warmers, obviously, so the tires are not quite up to pace as you would a GT3 car. And I believe Jacob Curtis started from the pit lane as well, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. He's down one position overall from where he started, but he's in front of quite a few drivers: Wade Georgeson, Aaron John, Spady Budd, Vicente Morera, Wilson Ortiz, and John Watt as well.
We also missed it, but Jägerkaru has lost the lead out here to Mario G. We know we didn't miss it. Anyways, as we go, Jägerkaru trying to go back around the outside and do the similar move that Mario did on the previous lap on the first corner. Aaron Silva also getting by his teammate and Dr. Porkchop. In fact, where the heck has the Camaro gone now that I'm looking at it? Trying to find the other Limit Road car. There is Pedro Antoni down in 9th. Caught slipping there for sure. And Luke Nelson making his way through the field and carving it like a turkey on Thanksgiving. Not a bad move. He's continuing up 8 positions from where he started. And Piloto _299, welcome to the team. Thank you for the follow.
And there's another position that Alex Hansen was able to lose and gain all in one breath. Down into 6th position. He gained a position there on Pedro Artoni, obviously, when he fell down the order, but now loses one to Luke Nelson. Well, Luke Nelson seems to be driving this one forward, really having some pace beneath him. He's already gapped he's already gapped Dr. Porkchop by 1 second overall right now, and we've just gone through a couple of corners. Alex Hansen is 0.3 back from Dr. Porkchop, trying to chomp at the bit as soon as he can.
He's trying to, but through the Schumacher S's, not many opportunities open themselves up here on the exit. You can maybe have a dice back here to the inside. Alex Hansen is going to have to go late on the brakes, and that's the Porsche specialty. He manages to get it done. Does he, though? Yes. Alex Hansen through once more up into 5th, and now is only trailing 2 positions from Aaron Silva, but he needs to finish ahead of Aaron. There is no negotiating that, and well, speaking of negotiations, Rally Dutchy is a no-holds-barred here with Dr. Porkchops, but fighting to the inside of the NGK. We heard what Amadeo had to say about that, and thankfully, Dr. Porkchop thinks better of it.
Rally Dutchie making big moves right now. How many positions has he gained? He's only gained 1 overall, but he's driving like he's battling for the podium right now. It's awfully close, and let's see what Rally Dutchie's pace is looking like compared to some of the other drivers. Right now, his last lap was a 209.1 compared to the 209.5 of Alex Hansen, but Hansen had to make that move up. Battle between Mario Jr. and Jaeger Caro is brewing up to be something special, as Jaeger Caro was able to get passed by Mario Jr. one more time. So this battle is bottlenecking behind, and Aaron Silva closing down the gap from 2.5 down to 1.8 very briefly.
Our championship leader, Aaron Silva, currently running in 3rd position, 2 positions ahead of Alex Hansen. Again, 10 points separating them currently. Alex Hansen is on the back foot, heading down into the final 10 minutes. Enough grass kicked up there. I think that was from Mario Jr., though. Will not be too much of an issue. The AMG, though, a bit off the pace of Jaeger, as you mentioned. He's managing to, well, switch back and forth, it seems, between the 2 drivers. But as of now, they maybe have settled down just a little bit, maybe waiting a good another 10 minutes before they resume their scrap. Same cannot be said here for the Camaro that has, in fact, fell down the field, actually gone tumbling down a hill into 8th position, down 4 positions from where they started, and trying to get by Dr. Porkchop right now and take a bite out of his day.
Jacob Curtis lurking in the background right now is going to give Pedro Artoni a run for his money, and he's 3/10 away from Dr. Porkchop as well, chasing down each other. Artoni's going to be a little bit on the defensive right now. It looks like he's got some scuffs on his rump there, and he's seen some better days. That Camaro's got a little bit of damage to it, but not too much to slow him down. His last lap around was a 2:12.555, with his best lap being a 2:10.7, so running right around where he should, right in this pack. Dr. Porkchop actually has not set a valid lap. This will be his first of the day to show us what he's really got made of.
He's still got one more corner to make sure that becomes. Pedro Artoni did, in fact, invalidate as well. And through the final corner, we do have a valid lap from Dr. Porkchop. Let's see what it's going to be here. 211.2 was the previous, and a 206.9 is where he will fall right now, which is pretty on pace with the drivers around. We're seeing 207s behind, we're seeing 206s into the 205s ahead, but on average, probably around the 206.2 marker is where you're going to be doing pretty well for yourself, to put it lightly. And Aaron Silva is pretty much around, actually, he's only at 207.3 right now, so I guess consistency is key, but he's also not really doing a great job of holding on to Luke Nelson. He's 0.8 off, but is Luke pulling away? He's number 3, or in P3 right now for the number 33. It seems he might be getting the best of the Brazilian.
Yeah, Luke Nelson was able to get by at turn 1 around Aaron Silva, and here goes Alex Hansen trying to find the long way around his opponent, Aaron Silva, but can't quite find it there. And he's trying to set something up. Flashy of the headlights. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe a little distraction, like Squatchmonger said before. This is a great battle. Of course, flashy of the headlights, but I think that's more of a distractionary move than anything, as Alex Hansen's trying to catch back up. And he's only 4/10 away from Aaron Silva, and like you pointed out, Mike, that 205.9 being a lot faster than the 207.335 that Aaron Silva's been able to produce so far.
Indeed, we just missed some really good scrapping, I think, between Pedro Artoni and what looked to be Rally Dutchie. I think Pedro Artoni negotiated by. He is up into 7th position now and looking to gain some more ground over the back pack there, over the rest of Rally Dutchie and Jacob Curtis. Let them just kind of fight amongst the pigeons in terms of each other and not worry about that fight. Just go and look forward onto the track ahead, which Alex Hansen, he's trying to do, but he's currently having that vision impeded by a McLaren 570S.
You're about to do the same thing that I did, and now around the outside goes Alex Hansen, and that limit road car was looking like it had breached the limit of its control there coming through the final corner, but Alex Hansen had to back out of that, couldn't find the grip there on the outside line, and that McLaren just takes off in a straight line now. Alex Hansen looking a bit on the inside, trying to make a cheeky move, just trying to scare Aaron Silva into a mistake, and both drivers going deep and over the pylons. And now getting set up into the Mercedes arena. Things are all single file for now.
And overtaking here is tough. We went over this with Amadeo the next real opportunity of attack is turn 1, to be completely honest. Overtaking opportunities are thin here. You can make it work a lot of the times just based off the fact that your opponent makes a mistake. You see, the grass is never far away here, and you may have heard the saying, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that's not the case in the Nürburgring, I can assure you that. It is only going to be just a bit of an issue, might send you off into that barrier. It looks far away, but I assure you can get there close relatively quick. And hitting the brakes there very early was Aaron Silva. Maybe just trying to get into the head himself of Alex Hansen, but right now, Alex Hansen has nowhere to go. This could be a run, but the Schumacher S's are not the place you want to go side by side. And, well, Alex, he knows that.
Absolutely, in good headspace there from Alex Hansen, knowing that he had a little bit of run on Aaron Silva, but knowing better than to try to go side by side through the Schumacher S's. And we're already halfway through this one. Alex Hansen on the optimal line right now, trying to go for a battle with Aaron Silva coming in after the Schumacher S's and into the second to last corner. Now we go, and will he get a run into the chicane? This is going to be the next place to get it done. And like you said earlier, that Porsche is going to be heavy on the brakes and get this one set up. Can he make it happen, Mike?
No, he's way too far back. Absolutely not. This is not an overtaking opportunity unless you're fully alongside. You do not go for a send here. That is a move to, that is a death wish, just to be honest. No, don't do that. Back onto the throttle. Here is the opportunity. Alex Hansen sets it up onto the straight as he should, but the problem is Aaron Silva, he closes the door, and the little Porsche, it may be punchy out of the corners, it may be good on the brakes, but it's not the quickest in a straight line, and we're seeing that here. He has to take to the racing line and fight another day. Pedro Antoni trying to go around the outside of Dr. Porkchop. He doesn't quite find the opportunity yet, but it seems that he is going to work one relatively soon.
Yeah, trying to make something happen, and Alex Hansen has got to make something happen sooner rather than later, because Dr. Porkchop and Artoni trying to make things happen on each other, but they've got a bottleneck in front of them. That 208.3 and 208.4 of the cars ahead are about a second slower than the cars behind. Dr. Porkchop doing a 207.1, Pedro Artoni doing a 206.9, so the pace is really in the cars behind right now.
Pedro Antoni, look at that. Weaving left, weaving right, up, down, forward, backward, side to side. It doesn't matter which way he goes. The gap isn't there. Dr. Porkchop has it covered off. And that's an ambitious look, I'll just be honest. He takes the racing line, though. Everyone else offline, to be completely honest. Alex Hansen and Aaron Silva, yes, are a little bit slow through there, which is going to just hinder Pedro Antonius to lift off very big, which you need to anyways, but a bit more than otherwise necessary. You want to be on the throttle early through there, that way your car sets up and is going to be a little bit less likely to bottom out. It can be deadly otherwise. Your car will just go flying through there, but here we see just a bit of a worm, to be honest, Saagar.
Yeah, a little bit of a snake in the grass. These cars all single file, just following each other, and we saw Alex Hansen going off in deep a little bit, just drag Dr. Porkchop along with him, and there's nothing else you can do. I wonder if Alex Hansen was really just giving Aaron Silva a bit of a break there so that he can get into his own rhythm and rhyme, because Aaron Silva has been defensive quite a bit and slowing him down by a lot of time, about 2 seconds a lap. Now both drivers doing 207s, but you know what I often hear from some drivers is when you're bottlenecked like that, you got to just back up maybe about a couple tenths or even a second. That way you can just drive your own race and try to attack again. Do you think that's what he was doing, Mike?
No, I think he's just hard to overtake here, to be honest. He's having a bit of an issue. He's just outmatched, as much as I hate to say it. Here we go, desperation send into the arena. He clearly, his intentions are not to stay behind this McLaren. He really hasn't been showing. He gets a good exit, at least in terms of positioning, but the angle is just not there. We're going to see here as we go side by side into Ford and Valvoline, Aaron Silva is just going to cover it off, except for the fact that Alex Hansen keeps his foot in it, but that's going to happen every single time. And this is a frustration and desperation move, and it's gone sour. And Dr. Porkchop, well, he reaps the riches there, but just an unnecessary situation, if you ask me. Let's go back and take a look at that, though, from a different angle.
Man, not what you want to see here. A little bit of door banging. Alex Hansen just not left the daylight there, and then on the grass, he cannot get that car to slow down. Comes back across the nose of Aaron Silva and spins him around into the kitty litter, and he's going to regain track position, but he's all the way down in 8th right now when he was just one position back from Aaron Silva in 6th place.
Yeah, and that was, well, I think that answered your question, Saagar. I'm just going to throw that one out there. Yeah, you reap what you sow in that case. And when you go for an overtake around the outside, you know what can happen. And that can happen, especially when the track isn't far. Here is Pedro Antoni, though, under pressure, and Jacob Curtis trying to make some moves. And oh no, that is a missed braking zone as well, but great handling. Pedro Antoni wheels it under control and keeps it. And Eric, you have to go back and watch the replay on that, because I will admit, that replay that I showed did not do it justice. It was the setup that was the issue.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to let that one go to the stewards for them to figure out. But right now, Jaeger Caro leads Mario Jr. over Luke Nelson. But here's side-by-side battle between Spady Budd and Rally Dutchy, and both drivers going a little hot and heavy into the chicane, and there was no contact between them.
Oh, there was
plenty of daylight. Was there?
Oh, there absolutely was. Let's go back and take a look at that as Spady Budd careened into the back panel of Jaeger Caro's side. Oh my goodness. Wait, hold on. You're right. He used the force. There wasn't, I thought there was contact. You're right. And that there was just narrow. You could barely fit a credit card between those two. But Spady Budd using the force to shove both of them off the track. And this melee, oh my goodness, this is just, he keeps his foot in it with the drift, is going to rejoin the circuit. All right, Spady.
And holds on to that position. No time gained, says the ACC director, apparently. And Rally Dutchy is ahead of Spady Budd right now. But Spady Budd, with those overheated Camaro tires, has got to try to do some work around the outside. We saw it go all wrong for Alex Hansen. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what we saw earlier. Narrowing margins right now. And there goes Rally Dutchy over the curbs, touches a little bit of grass there, and now comes back in front of Spady Budd.
And Spady Budd did, in fact, become a rally driver there briefly, which is very impressive, I'm not going to lie. This is not how I would advise you racing at home, everybody. This is two friends racing hard with each other, as Spady Budd goes for a legal move there. But, woo, yeah, that was an aggressive one. Illegal, but aggressive. Flash of the headlights from Rally Dutchy. Again, I don't advise you race at home like this. This is just two buddies, hopefully. They still are friends after this, having a good time out on circuit.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Silva is tracing down Dr. Porkchop now. The battle for 4th and 5th, as Aaron Silva lost that position earlier on to Dr. Porkchop. Trying to regain it back. He's got Luke Nelson, Mario Jr., and Jaeger Caro ahead, but Pedro Antoni lurking and waiting in the background, driving that Camaro, doing 206.5s compared to his teammate doing 207.1s right now.
Yeah, and whoa, out of shape Pedro Antoni there. Doesn't get caught, though. Thankfully, Jacob Curtis was offline himself, and honestly, Jacob here just seems to be settling in and waiting for any opportunities that arise, and here we see the limit road car go deep and, well, I guess cover off the inside there, of course, because the right-hander does come up, and a good attempt there from Jacob. He's still going to be pressuring him into the left-hander. At this point, you just need to back off. There's not much of a move to be had, and even still, it's not worth getting fully alongside because we have seen that happen before. What has happened? Wait, Aaron John, why is he in P1? Oh, goodness, this looks... Okay, we're going to have to catch a replay of this. This looks bad.
Aaron John coming through the chicane and going out to the grass a little bit deep and wide, but then he just drifts over.
I think there may or may not have been some connection issues involved with that one. I'm just going to go out on a limb. RDE underscore Foe. My apologies on that one. Welcome. Thank you very much for the raid, and welcome, Raiders. Hope you had a great stream, RDE. You're joining us here for the GT4 Rookies. We're down to the last lap, and we have... well, a championship rivalry underway, except the rival has kind of biffed himself off into the stratosphere. But here, Jacob Curtis and Pedro Antoni finding themselves in a bit of a scrap towards the NGK. We all know you don't want to go for this move. This is Amadeo Castorino's wise words, and thankfully, well, Jacob Curtis, he watched the stream and he knows.
And we don't know if this is all over and done with yet. Alex Hansen is driven with fuel in his belly before fire in his heart, and he's done last to first challenges in this very own championship. Hopefully he can produce something of the like and give us some entertainment for this last one and gain some points back. But mathematically, it might be all over and done with for Alex Hansen right now.
Yeah, I mean, race 2 is race 2, right? We still have one more ahead of us, but in terms of this one, he did get, or Jacob Curtis here we see got by Pedro Antoni, but Alex Hansen, yeah, he's kind of done moving. It's the last lap. I mean, you can only do so much with one lap, right? When in terms of last to first challenge of the whole race, and Alex Hansen, nothing to take away from his skill, but I think he just got a bit hot-headed in this race, and the championship got to him. And this is a great learning curve for him. You know, this is why we have the rookies, right? Is we're not about the championship. At the end of the day, we talk about it. It's a fun little element to have. But this is training you for a little bit later. You know, when you have the more intense championships that you're able to compete with, and you've been there. You've been in that championship rivalry, and you know that know exactly what it's going to take. And here, Jaeger Karu, this is going to be a good little notch to add to his belt, considering it's been a bit of a rough season for Jaeger, but coming out with a race win. In terms of the second half of the championship, Jaeger has busted the doors open.
Yeah, Jaeger Karu's done really great things in the second half of this championship. I'm trying to find all of his finishes right now, and where is he in the standings right now? Jaeger Karu.
Jaeger sitting 5th currently in the standings in his previous 1-2 result, and he's going to be adding another 1 to that one as he comes around the Coca-Cola curve now for the final time of race 1. And Jaeger Karu, a little bit slow, a little bit hesitant, but it's a safe line nonetheless, and he takes the race win here at the Nürburgring for the rookie finals in race 1. Mario Jr. in the limit road, 2nd position for the 193. Luke Nelson behind him, the number 33 in 3rd. Some say that's fate. I would say, yeah, why not? That's a great result for Luke Nelson. Dr. Porkchop coming home in 4th, and Aaron Silva in 5th.
In 5th, 6th place for Jacob Curtis, Pedro Artoni, Alex Hansen, Jeff Franks, and Stefano Rinaldi rounds out your top 10. And you're absolutely right. Jaeger Karu been a little inconsistent. 625, 4, 5, 4, 13th, 8th, 10th, and 5th. So he's got another notch in his belt for sure. As there's another battle on track. Is that John Wad battling it out, coming out to the final corner? It sure was, but it ended all in tears there as that little Alpine that could is driving away from the car behind.
Yes, indeed. Not the ideal result for John Wad. His latency issues, or no, Aaron John, excuse me, was one of the latency issues. But not how John Wad wanted to finish the race, and there is Wade Georgeson out of fuel. That's not how he wanted to finish the race either. Oh my. It's just a...
Oh no.
Wait, no, is he waiting? No, he doesn't. He has fuel. He has fuel. He's waiting. What is he waiting for? He's waiting for... Do you feel he must have felt he punted John Wad off. He lets him by. What a nice guy. I don't know what happened.
Guy, indeed.
So, fair enough on Wade Georgeson there.
Wade Georgeson being a gentleman driver that ever was. Doing a good job of being a sportsman nonetheless. Fastest lap of the race going out to Jaeger Karu, that 205.6. being his fastest and the most furious of them all out there. That 920 McLaren in that dark, what was it called? The Dark Horse livery?
Oof, you're testing my knowledge. Not Fox.
Dark Fox.
Maybe? Was it? Yeah,
I believe it was the Dark Fox. The Dark Fox livery.
Indeed, as we just snap a quick picture of the results on my phone. We don't forget. Commit him to the brain. No, we commit him to the phone because my brain ain't working too well tonight. But as it stands, Dark Horse by Katy Perry is overrated. Dark Horse by Nickelback is also overrated. I don't think it's overrated. I don't think anyone likes that song or that album. Yeah, So fair enough.
Wow,
Anyways,
Mike, tell me how you really feel about Nickelback. Come on now.
all right. You know, all right.
Drops the mic, walks away.
You know who isn't aight, or who is even better than aight? Mr. Chris Laronde. Why don't we get some beats in the background while we wait here for the next rookie race? It's not quite a song like that. This is my personal favorite. This is Amber Glass. I really like this song. It's just a nice, chill, relaxing beat. I don't know. Courtesy of Chris Laronde Alpha. And if you guys are looking, by the way, as well, for any more championships, again, I just want to remind everyone, !5FI, get yourself over to the boys in 5FI for the championship coming up, because we are going to be in off season for a while. And if I can, there we go, type it correctly, you can find a link to their Discord as well as their SimGrid championship that is coming up.
And don't forget about the Spooky Suzuki race coming up on October 30th. Excuse me, that'll be this Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as the Sun Sprint at Zandvoort on November 3rd, if I can remember correctly, and then the Flooded Silverstone race at the end of the month, Mike Nause?
No, it's at the beginning of next month. Why don't we just take a look, shall we? There it is. We have Flooded Silverstone November 6th and Sun Sprint at Zandvoort on November 3rd. Spooky Suzuki on October 30th. It's a livery contest, but you don't have to participate in livery contest, but you should. Again, it's a very fun little one-off event that we're going to be doing, and we have a voting that we're going to be having on stream. It'll be a good time. It'll be one to bring the kids and the family to, right? I mean, why not? I think all streams are great to bring the kids and the family to. Of course, we're a family-friendly stream here at TRACKILICIOUS, so is always our intentions. While we're here, big thank you to all of our Patreons, V8 Muscle, V12 Exotic, especially Inline 4, any donors at all, and of course our Twitch subscribers. You guys make what we do here possible, as well as the Bitteroo cheers. Adam Strange, thank you for the singular bit on the Nickelback. Sounds like a supervillain name who uses nickels for their crime. Is that like their calling card? Is that what that would be? More like they leave it behind whenever they commit a crime? Is that kind of what you're getting at? I'm not fully sure what that means. Or do you commit crimes with a nickel? Anyways, I'm not fully sure.
I think they commit crimes with a nickel, like they'll fling them at their opponents in retaliation for something. I think that's a good idea.
I can think of a couple spots that I would not want to be hit by a nickel, so fair enough. No comment on that, but
if you're debating about doing the Flooded Silverstone or not, you've already debated enough. You should sign up and go ahead and do it. It's going to be a hoot of a time. That'll be on November 6th, and I cannot wait to see what the drivers are going to be able to produce there at a Flooded Silverstone track, as well as the Sun Sprint at Zandvoort. Can't wait to see what the weather is like for the hottest scenario possible. Probably hot enough to fry an egg on, that'll be for sure, and it'll be awfully tricky around that circuit of Zandvoort. But more importantly, the Spooky Suzuki with the livery contest. I'm excited to see what the drivers are able to produce or have their nearest person drum up for them.
Yeah, that'll be a great time. And if you're looking for a livery as well, Neil Kerbal is one to reach out to for a commission. He does some excellent work and can show you some of that as well if you are interested. In fact, we've seen quite a bit of it out on the grid. I'm not sure if tonight is it Jaeger. I'm wondering if if Jaeger. Whoa, that's not Jaeger. I wonder if this Dark Fox here is a commission or not. I'm assuming this was made by Jaeger, but I'm unsure, honestly. I don't have the lore behind this livery.
That satin black looks so clean on that McLaren.
Wait, they didn't
very
see.
impressed.
I just realized even we're on the wrong scene. Even I just realized that. So, whoops. Why don't we get down to the action, shall we? Actually, no, we don't need to. It's still 1.5 minutes. So we got plenty of time. Probably should have done Stream Racer, but it's okay. It is what it is. We can just chat with chat here for a little bit before we get down to the action. I'm going to run an ad, actually. That's a great idea, Mike. Thank you for the compliment. But yeah, so let's run an ad real quick. If you guys are interested in using your Prime sub to get ad-free content, we have to run ads because, unfortunately, we got to pay the bills here. And, it is what it is. So we're going to be running a quick 2-minute ad. If you have Twitch Prime, you get ad-free content if you use your Prime sub here. If you do use a subscription, you can get Discord Nitro for the rest of this month. But in the meantime, we will see the non-subscribers briefly in about 2 minutes when we resume. But now, chat, it's just the Prime and other users. I don't know. What do we call it anyways? Since I haven't really gotten this far in terms of my thought process yet.
The primes and the subs, thank you very much for being here still while we run this quick ad break to pay the bills. Sirs, I have a question. What happens with punitions and protests in this last race? Ooh, that is a good question, and that is one for the stewards for sure, for them to decide what to do with basically punishments and protests for this last race. I believe that's up to God and the stewards. You know, leave the judgments up to them.
I would say just go to the Discord is my best recommendation. Is ask in the Discord and you will be happier. I'm assuming. I don't know. I am unsure, honestly. I don't know if I think we do have the incident report form over in the Rookies channel. That is where I would recommend heading on over to find more information about that. But now, I think the qualifying, there we go, has in fact ticked over. We're still in the ad break for another 50 seconds, which actually, wow, I could not have timed that more perfectly if I tried, to be completely honest. That is awesome. All right.
Thank you very much for the hydrate there, Squatchmonger. Appreciate you. Jaeger says that is a Neil Kerbal special and doing justice to that livery. Thank you very much for letting us know, Jaeger Caro, because that is a dashing looking livery. And what a sight to see here on the grid at the Nürburgring circuit. We can see the 707, the 95, Rally Dutchy, Spady Bud, and a couple other cars all forming up right now and getting ready to drop their setups in and get ready to hit the green, and away we go after one full formation lap here at the Trackalicious event finale for the GT4 Rookies Fall Championship Series. It has been our pleasure to be with you all season long. Thank you very much for all the love and support, everybody.
Absolutely. You guys make what we do here possible at the end of the day. And also, Spady Bud, I'm missing like fighting my teeth. It's a bit aggressive, Spady, I won't lie. Maybe bring it back a notch or two, just my personal advice. But hey, I'm not a professional racing coach. But now, the ad break is over, Saagar. Let's get down to the action. Black screen of anticipation. There we go.
Get to it, Mike Nause. What a beautiful scene here at the Nürburgring circuit, isn't it?
It certainly is. This is a wonderful track. We'll have some more fun facts about it in a little bit here, but we do need to get rolling here because honestly, I timed it perfectly and then I didn't time it perfectly because it wouldn't be me if I didn't. Anyways, let's get on in here and meet our drivers, starting us off at the top. It is Jaeger Karu. For the first race, he ended up on the top. Can he do it a second time here in the finals of the GT4 Championship for the rookies? Mario Jr., second position here in race 2 with Luke Nelson company for him in third for the number 33. Dr. Porkchop in fourth with the no-named Aston Martin, in Aaron Silva in the Limit Road Racing company with him in fifth, the championship leader, ahead of his rival. And Jacob Curtis is going to be in between them as well. The Basher Boys Racing in P6 with Pedro Antoni company for him in seventh, and Alex Hansen 10 points down and even more heading down into the next race here. Alex Hansen on the back foot, needs a win tonight. Jeff Franks, 9th quickest with Stefano Rinaldi, rounding out your top 10.
Wilson Ortiz, the number 58, is in 11th position. Chris Sunderson, the number 18, is in 12th position. And then we have Spady Bud in the number 221 in 13th. Vicente Morera in the number 84 in 14th. John Wad, the number 95 in 15th position. Wade Georgian is in the pit lane in that 707 in 16th place. Rally Dutchy, the 621, is in 17th. And Aaron John starting for the pits, the number 24 in 18th position.
Wow, and Squashmonger gets to drive a 23 Aston Martin Vantage for a weekend next month? That's sick. Is that like your rental car or something? Absolutely awesome. That sounds like a good time, especially if it's not yours.
Especially if it's not yours. Hopefully Jacob Curtis gets to enjoy his Bakshi the Basher Aston Martin himself while he drives it for the last time this season.
Indeed, the old GT4 Aston that has been around for a while. It's a 2018 variant, the 4-liter twin turbo V8. It has a good bit of horsepower. It's got a good bit of aerodynamics, a good bit of mechanical grip. It's just kind of got a good bit of everything, but nothing really sticks out about it. It's just kind of the average GT4 car, and it does a great job of that, to be completely honest. It's just, it's the old reliable, some might say.
Old reliable, old trusty, whatever you want to call it. That's 68. I didn't even notice the team name on that as well. The Basher Boys Racing Team for that number 68 from Jacob Curtis. Putting a smile on my face no matter where I am in this world. Thank you very much for making my night, Jacob Curtis, and to all the F&M boys that put in their hard work to making that one possible. This has been a thrilling finale here at Tracklicious, and I'm so glad to be part of it. We're going to watch this amazing race go on for just one more race, 20 minutes long before we call things a day. Do you think that our boy, Alex Hansen, has a chance, Mike Nause?
Yes, I mean, anything's possible in racing. Do I think that it's likely? No. He's got a lot of work to do, just to be completely frank with you, and yeah, he's got a long road ahead of him, and he's currently limited by the road in Aaron Silva, Mario Jr. ahead of them, and we'll see exactly what he can get done, because he needs, I mean, realistically, he needs a race win. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. He needs a race win, and he needs to beat he needs to beat Aaron Silva by a pretty good margin, too. I think at least 4 positions.
Yeah, I think you're right. Mathematically, it's pretty challenging right now, but the 4 or 5 positions could come any way, shape, or form for Alex Hansen, but he needs to be able to catch back up to Luke Nelson and Jaeger Caro somehow. And away we are formed up double file line, or side by side right now, as some would say, as we come through the final chicane and get squared up to take the green flag, everybody.
And Jaeger Caro leading us away in the Dark Fox at the top of the field. Luke Nelson is wait, no, he's not. Mario Jr. is alongside. The timing charts are, in fact, lying to us. You'd love to see that. Mario Jr., though, in second position. I can assure you of that one. I think it hopefully will update by the time we get to the line. This is it, though. The finals of the rookies, the last race of the championship, and not the last race of the night. We still have the open ahead of us, but here we go. Jaeger Caro, Mario Jr. side by side. Mario Jr. is already long gone. He basically started in first. Now, behind them, side by side, is 3 wide. Luke Nelson, Dr. Porkchop, and Aaron Silva, and it's a little bit out of shape. 4 wide briefly. Round to the outside goes Luke Nelson. Cars diving to the out. 3 wide on exit for Dr. Porkchop as well. He goes steaming into the back bumper of Luke Nelson, who slides around, gets hit by Dr. Porkchop for good measure a second time, and now through the arena sector, rejoining Dr. Porkchop with a 3rd contact. They say three's company, and that can certainly be said for Vincent Morera as well as Jacob Curtis. Dr. Porkchop getting involved with a little bit here on the first lap, and it is absolute calamity.
There it is, the word of the day being drop bomb. But the most important thing is that Aaron Silva was able to get promoted all the way up into P2 off that snap breakaway. He's up 3 positions overall. Looks like Alex Hansen's also up the same 3 positions, but he's got Pedro Artoni and Mario Jr. between them. And there's still a big dive out of Jacob Curtis trying to go through on Dr. Porkchop. Chop goes a little bit deep and wide in self-preservation. It looks like Jacob Curtis was able to nab that position. Flashy of the headlights from Vicente Morera in the background.
Yeah, that's not a good opening lap from Dr. Porkchop. Down 8 positions. Luke Nelson down 7 positions. He's going to try to make that 6, though, as he goes fully alongside Chris Saunderson. Leaves the barn door wide open, and Luke Nelson kicks it down. Now Jeff Franks ahead of him in the AMG. The Love Wins Racing trying to fend off on the back stretch as they're going to go side by side through Advent Bogan. He clobbers the curb. That is the risk of doing that move. And, well, thankfully, Luke Nelson backs out. We're going to look up ahead, though, to Alex Hansen, who's trying to slingshot himself around the Coca-Cola curve and down to the first hairpin.
Alex Hansen's got a lot of work in front of him right now, but a lot of the drivers that were involved in that lap 1 collision are way farther behind, so he's going to have some opportunities and some time to be able to get these moves made before he feels any pressure behind him. And we're looking at Alex Hansen right now chase down the limit road racing cars, and a little bump there into the back of, it looks like, Pedro Artoni, but he easily backs out of that one, returns the position, and all things are said and done right now for the 390.
Yeah, but that's damage on the front end early that Alex Hansen cannot afford. I mean, it's just plain and simple. You cannot be hitting other cars like that when you're in a championship fight and your rival is 2 cars up the road. Here is Jacob Curtis squabbling for positions as Jacob is under threat here, it seems, from Porkchop, but also trying to make moves onto Jeff Frank simultaneously down towards Ford. He makes contact with the rear quarter panel. It gets the AMG out of shape, and almost rejoining the circuit is a flying Spady Bud. Thankfully, he has a bit of discretion coming back through the track there, and he just rejoins behind the pack.
And flashy of the headlights from Spady Bud to the cars in front. Not sure what that one's about, but Jacob Curtis from FNM going a little deep there, and it looks like Jeff Franks will be able to get a nice switchback engage at the bottom of the hill, and it looks like Jeff Franks is side by side right now with Jacob Curtis. So going up the Schumacher S is Mike Nause. You said this was not a place to go side by side, and one of those drivers had to back out. That would be Jeff Franks easily backing out of that one in self-preservation, right?
Stellar overtake. I mean, yes, exactly. But stellar overtake from Jacob Curtis. I thought he had well overcooked it through the Shell Oil, the Dunlop, through the Dunlop hairpin. Basically the same corner now that I think about it. It's just same layout. Anyways, moving on from that. It's just an observation as we go on here towards the next lap for Jacob Curtis, and Luke Nelson is currently going through the NGK, setting up the exit there. That was a bit dicey for Luke. He started off in third, and Stefano Rinaldi deep on the launch here, and that pretty much concedes the position immediately to the fellow Aston Martin car. They're going to drag race to the first corner, but Luke Nelson, he wins out before the 300.
It looks like more contact between Alex Hansen and Pedro Artoni again coming through the final corner, but they regain their positions. 4th place for Pedro Artoni, 5th place for Alex Hansen. He's got 2 limit road cars that are going to be putting on a big defense, and there goes a big move from Vicente Morera around the outside, or around the inside, of Spady Bud, but now trying to get a switchback is Spady Bud, but Vicente goes a bit deep there at turn 2, and then they collide, and Spady Bud nearly goes off the track, rejoins it, but it looks like Wilson Ortiz is going to be able to get that one back, and Spady Bud's not going to have the last word in this conversation. He will, and almost runs to the back of Ortiz. Now they're side by side coming down the bottom of the hill, and Spady Bud around the outside. That number 21 is looking mighty and large, trying to make this one work, but will he get Alex Hansen here? No, he is not pinched to the outside curve and throws his nose into the mix and goes through on the number 58, Spady Bud. Being a little aggressive right now.
Bold is what I would say. That, I mean, good job from Spady. Kept it under control, and great faith in Wilson Ortiz to not clatter into the side of each other there. I mean, there was a lot of trust being put into those 2 drivers. That was racing at its finest, to be completely honest. And I can't fault them because they didn't hit each other. It was just a very easy situation to be turned on its head there, and Spady Bud gets away with it this time. But, you know, maybe chill just a little bit. Anyways, moving on. Alex Hansen and Pedro Artoni in a straight-up fight right now towards the NGK. This is, again, not the place you want to do it, and try to set it up, and that's exactly what you're looking for. An out-of-shape Camaro, and trying to get around the outside, the nimble Porsche. Look at the launch we're about to see. The Porsche is a specialty in this, but he checks up to the bumper a little bit too early, which means he had to lift off the throttle. That is going to be crucial here, because that overtake should have been a 10 out of 10 times. It might still be on here. I think the Porsche is going to get enough run here, but can it get onto the brakes late enough? No. The defense is on the inside there. Switchback attempt, but great job from Artoni as he runs deep. He actually covers the wrong line there, but he does a good enough job of defending at the very least for now.
Wow, these blocks are absolutely rough and hard from the Limit Road Racing team. They're not letting Alex Hansen get anywhere close to Aaron Silva right now. The defense is really being put on by these guys, and they are working as a team. You can definitely smell it in the water. The blood has been churned, and Alex Hansen has nowhere to go. He has to basically stay in this position, as it looks like Pedro Artoni is putting on his best defense possible, his best Checo Perez impression.
Yeah, and in my opinion here, Alex Hansen has this overtake easily, just to be completely honest, and he should have had it by now. He's trying way too hard, and this is not what you want to do. You don't want to be sending it to the outside here. You're just going to only accomplish picking up some gravel on your tires and having a crap exit, to be honest. It's about all you can get done there. Alex Hansen here, he just needs to get into his own head. He needs to take a lap, and holy smokes, as he has a mid-air time there. Very close. Again, dial it back. This is where you just need to tell yourself as a driver, I'm overdriving the car. I know it. This is my position. I can overtake Pedro Antoni here with ease. I just am almost beating myself at this point, is what I'd be telling myself if I'm Alex Hansen, at least.
I didn't know that Porsche made bicycles, but you saw one here first, piloted by Alex Hansen, coming through the Schumacher S's, or on the exit at least. He absolutely yeeted that thing into oblivion, and now here's where the mistake was made on the previous lap. Alex Hansen checking up again, trying to get on throttle to try to get Pedro Artoni into his clutches, and there is none other than Luke Nelson, the man himself, in his recovery drive. He's in 6th place. He started in third place. He's down 3 positions overall right now, and he's working his way forward. Here goes a battle between Jeff Franks and Dr. Porkchop. Jeff Franks trying to go around the outside of Dr. Porkchop. Can he make this one work? Coming back over to the optimum line is Dr. Porkchop. But then Jeff Franks just right on the rear end, tries to nip and tuck on the way on the inside. Will he be able to hold on? Dr. Porkchop goes a little bit deep and wide, and there's the car in front. That's Stefano Rinaldi, allowing a little bit more than a car's width along the inside, and that move from Dr. Porkchop is done and dusted.
Stefano Rinaldi just handed that, not just that position to, oh goodness, Spady Bud and Vincent Morella. Now that is, I think, a fine example of hard racing. We're not even going to go back and watch the replay, but Dr. Porkchop there was gifted that position because Jeff Franks, he had the run and he had the ideal line to go for the overtake. He just had to go late on the brakes, but then there was a high visibility Aston Martin parked right on the line that he wanted to go, and Stefano Rinaldi, in that nature, I think maybe got a bit scared seeing the AMG careening into his back bumper. He went deep, which then further blocked both cars pretty much, but Dr. Porkchop managed to get the better situation there. At a certain level of talent, luck and skill are indistinguishable, but I think there was a little bit of luck played as well as quite a bit of talent.
Yeah, whoa. And here goes Luke Nelson with a big send up the inside on Alex Hansen. Hansen was there on the optimum line, just trying to drive his own race. Luke Nelson has to go over the curb and into the grass for a little bit of time, and then coming around now is Luke Nelson going to try to make another move? But no, Jacob Curtis sure will around the outside, looking for any opportunity that he can. He's on the right line coming through the chicane. Luke Nelson getting a little squirrely out of the chicane right now. Alex Hansen's been trying to make this one work for 4 laps now. Can he make it work on the 5th one? I don't think he's close enough, Mike Nause.
No, he's definitely not close enough this time. We know the Porsche and the Aston straight line speed is a bit different. The Aston quite a bit quicker, but that's still, the Porsche brakes are at a specialty. And Luke Nelson says, why not, though? Goes for an ambitious thought, but it's just that. It's only a thought. There's no actual attempt, really. More trying to keep Alex's head on a swivel, I suppose. But in my opinion, you're just revealing your cards a little bit early. I think this is just where you want to settle in, and again, you just want to find your rhythm to beat the drivers around you, because looking at pace, just pure lap times alone, every single lap, pretty much, Alex Hansen is quicker than Artoni. Last lap is, I think, the only exception, and Artoni with the faster lap by a couple thousandths of a second, pretty much, and Luke Nelson faster as well. Luke Nelson faster than everybody around him, pretty much, but Jacob Curtis, who's... Now that I'm looking at it, the quickest out of everyone. What the heck? How is Jacob Curtis so bottlenecked? He's been lapping 2:05.8s.
Jacob Curtis running those 2:05.8s, pretty much in line with Jaeger Caro's best laps. Going a little too quick there, it seems. Mike Nause, you want to give us a quick recap?
I wasn't fully looking, but I think you summed it up perfectly. Going a little bit too quick. I don't think I could have said it better myself. Let's see. Going into the braking zone too quickly, and he just misses it. He forgot the middle pedal existed briefly.
And thank goodness he threaded the needle between Artoni and Alex Hansen there without collecting any other drivers. That was very, very, very close to being a disaster. But like I was going to say before that, was Jacob Curtis doing 205s. That's in line with Jaeger Caro's 205.5 being his fastest lap of the race. But you're right, he was going the fastest of any driver on track there for just a few moments.
Yeah, and again, stuck behind cars, which is even more impressive to do so. This is, again, another attempt. Alex Hansen trying to get the more momentum line. I don't think this is going to work for him. He just needs to take the racing line and just find something here. I mean, clear whatever he's trying on this final corner is not working, which, to be fair, drag racing a Camaro and a Porsche. This is what you get when you sign up for the Porsche. And oh, no. Good avoidance attempt from Alex Hansen. But that was just, again, Luke Nelson way too late on the brakes. And he takes the position. I'm hoping that he hands this back. But I don't see any intent in such. And Alex Hansen, this is just going to make him feel like he has a target painted on his back, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It will make him feel like he's got a target painted on his back, especially after race one, getting squeezed there around the outside and onto the grass right here. Last race, we saw it in our very own eyes, and now he got bumped in the rump there from Luke Nelson. Well, Luke Nelson's driving pretty fast right now. Like I said, he was in third place overall, and now he's back into fifth place, trying to regain more positions as time goes on.
Yeah, and Grumpy Geriatric Gamer, I agree with you in that it's faster than a good bit of cars. It's about average. I wouldn't call it faster. Just looking over at the pit wall data, this is all I'm reporting off of. It is currently 8th quickest in a straight line. The Camaro being quicker, the Aston of Jacob Curtis being quicker, and the McLaren being very much quicker, and the BMW as well. Those are the cars that are a little bit better. The cars that are slower is actually just the AMG, the Audi, and the Alpine, which, Alpine, shocker, slowest in a straight line. Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, right. Who would have guessed that? Alex Hansen chasing down Luke Nelson. The battle between the 390 and the 33 rages on. Battle for 5th and 6th place overall. Take a look at Jeff Franks, the battle for 10th, 11th, 10th, and 9th. And there goes Spady Butt up the inside of Stefano Rinaldi side by side. A little bit of contact there between the two drivers as there's elbows out racing between the Quattro here. And it looks like Spady Butt drives off into the distance in that number 221.
Enough penalties, and you will learn, Spady. You just gotta chill, man. Like, your racecraft's good. I'm not denying that. It's just, yeah, Stefano Rinaldi is gonna be very upset about that one. And as I know Stefano Rinaldi is, he is a proud Italian. He is going to be flaring his hands up in a very Italian manner in the general direction of Spady Bud.
Oh, man. That's not ever any good news for an American driver to get the hands thrown up at you by an Italian.
Whoa, what's going on here? Wait, no, was that who just made a mistake? Someone just made a mistake, and I don't know who it was. Either way, nothing happened from it, so we're just going to pay no mind to that and look up ahead to Luke Nelson and Pedro Antoni with Alex Hansen behind.
Oh, wow. Alex Hansen trying to go the long way around the outside of Luke Nelson, the number 33, but the 390 has nowhere to go. He's boxed in yet again. Now he's got both Pedro Artoni and Luke Nelson to contend with in this race, and he had one problem before. Now he's got two cars that are faster than him in a straight line, and there goes almost a credit car. Whoa-wee! That car got up on two wheels, hooked the curb in, and spun itself around a little bit faster than it potentially should have. Luke Nelson driving this thing like it's an A10 Warthog.
I don't think he expected that. It definitely seemed to just kind of come over on him very abruptly, and he thankfully corrected it. A very sharp reaction from Luke. And Pedro Antoni cannot catch a break right now. He is just having the pressure applied to him more than anyone else I've seen in the race so far. We still have the battle between Spady Bud and Jeff Franks. In fact, why don't I tune down to this one, because it looks like Jeff is getting a bit antsy here and wanting to get by the Camaro, which has been tangled up with a couple cars so far in tonight's races, in both last race and this one. And again, just discretion is the better part of valor, I'm hoping, for this battle, but we're going to keep an eye here on the front.
And on the front, we are Pedro Artoni leads Luke Nelson and Alex Hansen. The battle for 4, 5, and 6 right now. Luke Nelson trying to make a move in that 33 up the inside right now here towards turn 1. He's super late on the brakes, returning to the racing line, and now bumps Artoni forward in a little bit of a hurry up and go. I've got Alex Hansen right behind me, lurking and waiting in that number 390 Porsche.
I don't know how much I like that. The stewards, oh, here we go. Luke Nelson with a good line. He's got a good look, but it's going to turn to the outside for the next part. That was a late defense. That was a very, very late defense from Pedro Artoni. I'm just going to be honest. I think Luke Nelson, I don't know if he was entitled to that room, to be honest. I think the stewards will be taking a look at that one as well. And Luke Nelson, he just has to really bite down on his teeth and say, it is what it is, and try again for another move, because I don't want to say he had that done, but he definitely had the advantage seemingly coming into that first corner, and Pedro just moved over very, very aggressively and late as he does there. Is that going to compromise his run? No, he just parks it dead center of the track, and there isn't an Aston Martin, or enough room for an Aston Martin to go around anywhere.
And there wasn't room for an Aston Martin. There has never been room for a Porsche to go around Artoni. Those are the moves he's been putting down all race long on a guy named Alex Hansen, unable to get by him whatsoever. The Minister of Defense, putting a good job on for the Limit Road racing car. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but you can see Alex Hansen battling it out with Luke Nelson pretty fairly and squarely in the background.
Yeah, and it will continue here, and Karu is a phoenix, 2 wins. Karu has rose from the ashes, it seems, as of recently. Again, the second half of the season has treated him very well, and it's done so tonight. You're only as good as your last race, and Jaeger Karu looking to end it with an absolute, well, masterclass, to be completely honest, a grand slam as he has so far. We're going to, again, keep an eye, though, on this fight, because this is the closest battle, and for the highest paying positions. It isn't going to be for the championship, though. I think at this point, oh, here we go. Hold that thought. As the Aston Martin's going to have the outside line. Onto the grass here. The Camaro needs to get back on shape, but there's no way it's making that corner. Luke Nelson gets too excited on the gas. He gets the car looped around briefly, manages to catch it with the oversteer, though. And after all of the hard work, Pedro Artoni manages to drop it on his own, and Luke Nelson there to capitalize.
Wow, and again, that defense from Artoni, despite going on the grass, was still there on the inside line, trying to hold on. And there goes Alex Hansen up the inside of Artoni. Finally, a move can be completed up the inside, and no, Alex Hansen has to back out of that one. Artoni just came over like applesauce and just blocked him out there. That 390 cannot catch a break. All race long has not moved an iota from 6th place since the beginning of this start.
I'll be honest, I've really liked the racecraft from Alex Hansen. He's been a bit more passive, I think, than he otherwise would have liked to be, but I think he's learned a lot this season, and he's tuned into every single Amadeo stream. He's always in chat asking questions, and he's just one of those drivers that you can tell is going to go far. He's got the passion, he's got the heart, but he doesn't got the points. Pedro Artoni, he's the one that is more than likely... No, Aaron Silva, what am I talking about? Aaron Silva, the other Limit Road car and running in second, is going to be the one to take the title. He has done enough in the McLaren, the number 57, to win the championship here tonight in race 2. But Jaeger Karu, he's got the glory for race 2 as well. He takes the overall category win out on the track. Jaeger Karu in the 920. Excellent work. Well, I would say grand slam as it stands again. We're a race 1 win, fastest lap in race 2 with a win and the fastest qualifying as well. Aaron Silva, he responds with second best, but that's enough to take the gold overall. And the cheers in chat are rampant. Let's go, Aaron Silva, vamos, everybody says. And Aaron Silva, El Capitano Fantastico, I would say at this point. Now, I know that's Spanish. I don't know Portuguese, unfortunately.
Well, congratulations go out to the Limit Road Racing team as they are able to clinch the championship in the final race. Great job to them. Limit Road Racing is on top, but Jaeger Karu was actually the one who claims the champagne for this one. P1 for him in race 1, P1 for him in race 2. That is the rising out of the ashes, like you said earlier, Mike Nause, and that dark fox livery is sure to boot for him for his recovery.
It certainly is, and hopefully we can get a word with him in the post-race interview here, as well as our championship winner, Aaron Silva and Mario Jr. I know I think we need I can't remember who's the translator for who here, but we're going to hopefully get everybody at least to get a word out. So just waiting for them to join the green room before we can get a word from our championship rivals. And Limit Road on top indeed. Limit Road certainly taking the win for the team championship, as I think just sheer numbers alone says that, but there is no team championship in the rookies. But if there was, they would have probably smashed that door wide open.
And like you said, with the numbers alone, they dominated this championship, filling up nearly half the grid in some of these events. They did a great job of driving forward, and really working together to develop that pace has been the most important thing to them. And you can tell that they've been very aggressive with each other, and they know how to make these overtake opportunities happen. So hats off to the Limit Road guys for their teamwork overall.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better myself, and still not seeing anybody in the green room yet, which surprises me. Jaeger Karu, at least I know, should be watching and should be getting into the green room. Come on, Jaeger. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get on it. If I did, wait, I can just move Jaeger rudely. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to move him to the green room first, at the very least, and give him a couple seconds to decide if, okay, there we go. I think he's done it himself. No, wait, hold on. No, we haven't. Okay. Nobody wants an interview, it seems, but hold on. Again, we're pay no man to the man behind the curtain. Saagar, continue.
Alrighty, but we have one more race coming up for you, folks. This will be the GT4 Open Round 8. The finale is going to be at none other than the Nürburgring circuit. If you liked what you saw, excuse me, the Nordschleife circuit, what am I saying? If you liked what you just saw here at the Nürburgring, you're definitely going to like watching the pros and the AMs go after it on the Nordschleife, a 24-hour circuit. We've got more than 80 corners lined up for the drivers to contest with. We have a 45-minute race, mandatory pit stop for everybody as well, where there is a fixed refueling time of 25 seconds. So an optional 5 seconds will get you some brand new rubbers and some tires underneath you. So hopefully the drivers will elect to either go for a cheeky pit stop or allow us to see more action out on track. Time will only tell what they're able to produce, but I think we've got Jaeger Karu waiting to go.
We do. We also seem to have both our second and third place finishers, or the translator, which I think is also, I think Mario Jr. is Aaron Silva's translator, or vice versa. So let's pull both the Brazilians down here and let's find out. Aaron Silva, Mario Jr., how you guys doing here?
Hi, we're doing great.
Hello, we talking Mario? We talking Mario and Aaron? We have both of you guys. Excellent. Okay. Neither of you guys need a translator, correct?
Yeah, Mario need.
Mario does. Okay, excellent. Okay. Then in that case, let's start off with you, Aaron. Why not? You're here right now. Aaron Silva, you're the champion now of the TRACKILICIOUS GT4 Rookies Fall Championship. How does that feel?
I'm extremely happy. You know, when I started the championship, I wasn't expecting something like that. But you know, fortunately, the races went my way.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I think, for sure. Looking at your results overall, it wasn't the most simple championship. You had a great start, winning the first and the second races. But as we got later in the championship, you had that Watkins Glen race where you finished 19th. I'm sure that's where things maybe started to, like you say, you just kind of... we're still in it with the racing, but by the end here and coming into Zandvoort, you were firmly in competition. How was the nerves? How did you manage those before the race tonight?
I was very nervous, It's the first time I fight for a championship, so I was, thinking a lot, Yeah. Well, just overthinking, that things that maybe, go bad or something. But, thanks to my my teammates, they were supporting me a lot, so I was able to keep the heads down.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, you guys work together a lot, and I think with that, why don't we move on to Mario as well? With that, kind of just transitioning, and you guys, you work very, very well together as a team. Now, Mario, would you attribute that just down to your guys' practice and whatnot? And I know, honestly, you can weigh in here as well, Aaron.
Falando contigo, Mário, ele falou, vocês trabalham bem juntos. Você atribui isso a treino, a correr junto?
Acho que também um pouco a gente tá combinando de conversar e correr bastante junto e um vai ajudando o outro, então acho que isso ajuda mesmo, tá sempre junto ali. Quando um vai entrar, o outro avisa, é importante.
Yeah, we always racing together, we when we're gonna practice, we let each other know. So we can do it together, and that helped it, to the great result.
Yeah, and Mario speaking, I mean, the practice paid off. Battling with Luke Nelson, I mean, all in all, you guys, even the battle between the team there, you guys, or Mario in particular, he raced pretty hard tonight. Is there anything that he has to say on that?
Mário, parabéns, você correu bastante, principalmente contra o Nelson. Às vezes também entre a equipe. O que você tem a dizer sobre a corrida de hoje?
Tanto como a corrida de hoje, como o campeonato inteiro, tem pilotos bons e faz a gente evoluir. Então é importante ter pilotos qualificados para a gente acabar evoluindo também.
Not just this race, but the championship as a whole has great drivers that make us, better. So having, great drivers to race against is really good.
Yeah, I mean, finishing third place in the championship as well. I mean, Limit Road in general, first, third, fourth in the championship. That must feel pretty good for you guys.
Terminar o campeonato em primeiro, terceiro e quarto deve sentir muito bem pra gente.
Com certeza, né? A equipe terminando bem é bem legal.
Yeah, of course, we are happy to, finish the championship like it is.
Excellent, excellent. You guys did an amazing job. Now, is there anyone that either you would like to thank before we move on here tonight?
Você quer agradecer alguém, Mário?
Todos nós aí, né? Tanto que o pessoal correu, como que ficou assistindo, auxiliando também, ficou nervoso no final. E essa é a parte legal de correr em equipe.
Yeah, Mario and I want to thank our teammates, the people who were cheering for us, watching the championship, helping us as a team.
Excellent. And is there anyone that you'd like to thank yourself, Aaron?
Yeah, basically the same thing. My teammates, they helped me a lot.
You guys definitely seem to have a great camaraderie and moving forward, or a great chemistry moving forward. I think you guys are going to go very far, and I wish you guys good luck in the future championships and hope to see you around TRACKILICIOUS. And again, congratulations, both of you.
Ele agradeceu a gente e acredito que a gente vai fazer coisas melhores.
Valeu, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
And next up, Saagar Bakshi has had some time to catch up with our race winner tonight, Mr. Karu.
Karu, someone has lit up your livery as well as lit the fire underneath your pants, and you are in P1 for race 1 and race 2. How does that feel to round out the championship?
It feels okay. It's a good start for once for what is inevitably going to be my graduation out of rookies.
Well, inevitably your graduation out of rookies. Well, onwards and upwards to better things. You've got to feel pretty good with yourself. Your consistency has come true to form in the past couple. How have you been able to get there?
Practicing, testing my lines of where I can brake, where I keep going. Basically pushing as much as I can in a safe manner.
And of course, the Amadeo Castorino videos have been a little bit of help, right?
I have not watched a single one. I haven't had time.
Ouch. Way to insult Mike a little bit harder.
Great attempt, though, Saagar. I at least appreciate the effort from Saugar's side. The effort from Jaeger, that needs to step up a little bit.
Oh, man. Really making me work for this one, Jaeger Caro. Well, you've done a lot of good work. And tell us a little bit about your livery, the new Dark Fox livery. What about that?
That came into fruition last week out of talks with Neil, where we spoke a little bit back and forth, get an idea for what would be the car I drive today and continue on. And it came out very well with all the other cars that Neil has done for me.
Really well done. The satin black as well as the orange polygons looking very sly on the hood of your car. It was a very well done livery. Thank you very much for putting on a show for us, Mr. Jaeger Caro. Is there anything in your race that we may have missed or anything else that you want to talk about before we let you go?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys caught the race 2 turn 1 for 4-car wide.
Oh, yeah,
where
we did.
I
One of
actually
them.
attempted to save Mario from turning early because I saw Aaron Silva miss his braking point and coming in too fast.
Oh, was that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, the savior of the day, it seems, I guess, because Aaron looked like Mr. Silva was able to gain 2 positions right off the break and no causation to him for that missed braking point. He was coming in hot and heavy. I thought he was just going for a gap that existed.
No, I did not turn my car at all when I saw him coming in. So I was pushing Mario left a little bit to avoid it.
Ah, so you and Mario got into that early squabble thanks to that T1 incident. Very interesting to hear it from the driver's point of view. And well, good heads up driving out of you then.
It's a lot of practice and a lot of time with my teammates on that one.
Nice. Who are your teammates, Jaeger?
Rally, Dutchy, and Spady Bud, who I want to thank for spending all this time with me all the time.
Right on. And the practice sure has paid off. The camaraderie has worked out well for you guys. If you guys got a spot for a lonely GT4 driver, I'm looking for a home myself for the 5FI team this winter.
We'll keep an eye.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Let me know. Let me know if a
You just
space
got shut
opens up,
down.
Jaeger. Yeah, wow. Okay, never mind then.
Denied.
Have a wonderful day, Jaeger Car.
All right,
No,
and
but
with
seriously,
that,
is there anybody that you want to thank before we let
I
you
already
go?
moved him, Saagar. Sorry.
Oh,
I thought that was
see
a
ya,
great way to
nerd.
cut. I thought that was a great way to cut. No, that was for sure. I don't see any better conclusion there. Anyway, moving on. Jaeger, a little bit underwhelmed with his win, you might say, but yeah, fair enough.
It sure seemed that way, didn't it?
It did.
Almost like he was dissatisfied with himself for not like lapping the field or something.
He wanted more. What can you say? Wanted just that little bit more. And speaking of a little bit more, Saagar, why don't you mention the little bit more that we have here ahead of us tonight?
Ahead of us tonight, we have our GT4 Open at the 24 Hours of Nordschleife, folks. We're going to see these wonderful GT4s go around for about 45 minutes, 1 mandatory pit stop, 25 seconds of fixed refueling time. An additional 5 will get you a fresh set of tires to your name. And we're going to see the pros and the AMs go after it all on their own. And boy, this is going to be an exciting finale to the championship. Although the points have been concluded, the drivers are always ready to put on a show for us, aren't they, Mike?
They certainly are, and let's get down to said show as we speak. Hopefully no black screen of anticipation as we load into Professor Chronotis' lovely livery out on track, the Trackalicious LSR 24-hour. And, well, we're going to have a... I can't believe that we actually have a qualifying. Anyways, it's... We're going to have a long qualifying ahead of us. I have no idea why it's 20 minutes or who thought that was a good idea, but here we are. We're going to have a more than likely a 30-minute qualifying. So go and get your snacks, folks, is what I would recommend. We got a lot of lap time ahead of us. I honestly thought we were just going to roll in with like 1 lap quali, but I guess I was wrong, unfortunately.
No, more likely going to be a 3 or maybe even 4 lap qualifying, darn near going to be half the distance of the race at this point with a 17-minute waiting time as well. We're going to see some drivers put in that extra lap time and drive around for as long as they possibly can. And AV6 Scott says, give them 3 laps. 4 laps is impossible. 9, 18.
No, he's right. 3 laps. Yeah, he's right.
3 laps. You're right. Yep.
Yeah. No, he is right.
Thank you, Jumpy Geriatric Gamer, for being quick on the maths. I may be Indian, but my math isn't quite all there.
Still, like, come on. I don't know. That was, I feel like this was a bit of an oversight, but we'll move. I mean, I don't even know how to move. I guess putting some audio on might help so you guys can actually hear the cars driving around the circuit. But yeah, we're going to be here for a bit. Just I guess, on board with Josh Grush. Yeah, why not?
We also could run an ad mic.
It's a good idea. We're going to run a quick ad. If you are not a Twitch subscriber, get on it. No, if you guys don't have the money, it is what it is. But if you guys do have Twitch Prime, it is free for you. Or Amazon Prime, it is 1 free sub every single month, and you can use it on whatever Twitch channel, and you get ad-free content like the ads that we're about to run. So we will be back in 2 minutes for Twitch subscribers, but if you are a Twitch subscriber, we thank you very much, and you will not have an ad. You will get to watch Ali Raza pushing the likes of Josh Grush.
And boy, is he pushing. He is filling up that rear view mirror right now of Josh Grush, and Grush is not getting out of the way as he's on a flyer right now. Ali Raza may want to decide to back out of this one and gain some time or momentum, but no, he's just going to race Josh Grush around this track, and Mike Nause Weasley waves that one off.
It's like a 50-50, because, like, I get why Josh isn't letting him by, and I get why Ali Raza doesn't just back off, because normally I would say, well, Ollie's already ruined his lap, he should just back off. But a banker lap is so important here at the Nordschleifer. You just need a time, and here Ali Raza is going to try to negotiate. Josh squeezes him. Josh should let him go here. There's no question about it. And he is going, no, he's not going to. He should let him go. And he'll use him as a slipstream as well. The time that you lose is going to be time gained later. As we go side by side here, if you end up crashing into each other, that's 2 laps gone already. And that could literally be pretty much the end of qualifying. So these two negotiate the position, thankfully. And Ali Raza wipes the sweat off of his brow. And Josh Grush, like I say, I don't think either driver's in the wrong for defending there or trying to go for the aggressive play, because it is just that important to get a lap in here at the Nords. And even if you get a messed up lap, even if it's impeded, still a lap.
Still a lap. It counts. It's valid. That's all that matters. Like you said, Mike Nause, getting a banker lap in is one of the most important things, especially in these GT4s. As Grumpy Geriatric Gamer said, you're only going to get 3 laps maximum if you push to the line. And if you did not, then therefore you might only get 2 laps valid. So this lap plus 1 more, and as noted, your tires are going to be awfully worn, and God forbid you have an incident like Josh Grush just had. Your lap time is going to be hurting for sure coming around the circuit this time around, and hopefully doing a little bit better with that clean air, not around Ali Raza pushing you around. That'll be nice and comforting to be able to wipe the sweat off of my brow, knowing that Ali Raza is breathing down my neck. One of the championship leaders, the championship leader, the championship winner as well, Ali Raza.
Yep, he is going to be uncontested into this race, so maybe some say, oh, he should have backed off because he wouldn't now. Again, it's not about that, it's just about what it is. And Josh here is struggling on the back sector of the Nords. What is an apex? That's okay, they're not that important at the Nordschleifer. Again, it's very much a survival race that we're going to be seeing today. And how long do we have? Is it a 45-minute race tonight, or is it longer?
It should be a 45-minute race tonight. Am I mistaken?
Well, I'm hoping it is, but I'm just, you know, you never know where you give, oh, a special Nordschleifer more. It's okay. AV6 South says 45. Thank you. Just, you know, you never know what the TRACKILICIOUS staff has in store sometimes. They don't tell me anything.
Surprise! It's a 2-hour race, Mike Nause. Didn't you know?
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. But no. Format for tonight, Steve Jiggs over on the YouTube side asking, we have a 45-minute race with 1 mandatory stop. The drivers have a fixed 25-second fueling time that they are allotted to take, and 5 additional seconds for tires, which a lot of drivers will be maybe electing. Honestly, I don't know. I'm curious in chat what you guys think. I know there's a lot of the pro drivers. This is a split. Hold on, is this a split quali? Oh goodness, no, it's not a split quali.
No,
Thank good. Okay. But if you are out there, I'm curious if this is a tire change track in a GT4 or not. So we'll see when the race comes, but it is optional, 5 additional seconds if you would like them.
And now Nicholas Menendez is the next one for Noobs R Us Racing, able to get around Josh Grush on this opening lap. And here we see nose to tail Josh Grush about to give Menendez the bump drafting that he deserves. And there it is, a little touch there, a little hurry up and run there. The Camaro deep in a straight line and very fast, not as fast as that AMG is going, as he's been obviously caught up to in the twisty bits.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of bump drafting, but as Grumpy Jerry Hatchet Gamer says, the AMG just runs out of gears, unfortunately. It's got a very short gearbox compared to the Camaro, which can stretch its legs and run, and, well, that was Joshua Worley getting past right there. And fastest lap is Ollie Raza, who returns to the pit lane with an 8 minutes 53.7.
Wow, that is a very fast lap time out of Ollie Raza. 8:56 coming out from Menendez. Brian Clementi in third with a 9:04 flat. Josh Grush with a 9:04.862, so tying with Brian Clementi almost by just a couple of tenths. Around a 9-minute track, only being separated by a couple of tenths is very impressive. 9:07 coming in for Alex Hansen right now, that 390 Porsche.
Yeah, and more lap times barreling in as we speak, but the one thing that I notice about that lap time is, yes, that's a very fast lap time for a GT4, but there are literally seconds left on the cards. And Matt_OLC, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the team here at TRACKILICIOUS. But, well, I mean, I don't want to say it's been a one-horse race championship, but it kind of has, unfortunately. And Ollie Raza, I suspect, is not going to be able to be answered tonight.
I'm expecting the same thing unless someone has done some amazing Nordschleife practice. I don't expect to see anything upsetting here tonight. I'm waiting to see Justin Beachley get to the line and Casey Swansinger. Swansinger was able to produce a 9:16, but it was invalid that last lap around. It looks like Justin Beachley is not set a lap for himself getting to the line right now. I wonder whether that's going to put him. Justin Beachley going up into 6th place with a 9:07.262. So not quite where he expects himself to be in this championship, because I believe it is very close for second and third in the championship, right? Well, 27 points separating George Elmer, Mr. Glue, and Justin Beachley in the cat car.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, again, Justin Beachley, potential, well, he's going to be hard to dethrone, to be honest. George Elmer, 20-ish points, but it's Nürburgring, Nordschleife, anything's possible. Quite the separation on lap times. Yeah. Quite separation on lap times. I'm interested to see how this is going to translate over into race pace. And hopefully we have some battles that develop and some packs that can stick together. But we're seeing a lot of different lap times. I mean, you'd mentioned Brian Clementi, Alex Freeman within tenths of a second. That's pretty impressive over the course of what is roughly 15.5 miles, 25.3 kilometers around these 87 corners, 42 to the right and 45 to the left. So this is, I mean, yeah, impressive with that tight of times. We also have Justin Beachley and Alex Hansen within a very tight margin. I expect Beachley to find a bit more in terms of pace. And do y'all think that learning Nords helps improve overall sim skill? Honestly, Steve, that's a great question. And I'm going to have a bit, maybe a controversial answer, maybe not, but I'm going to say no. It's a very unique circuit in that there are so many corners that you can forget where you're at times, and there is no other circuit on the world that's a problem that you have to worry about. You think of Bathurst having, what, 23 corners off memory? I think that's the most I can think of. Jeddah Corniche with, what, 27 corners? Or something like that. So even we don't even race GT cars there. I know they do in Rennsport, which I had the pleasure of watching over at ESL. That was honestly a great race, watching Jeddah with GT cars. They need to remove the Turn 7 complex, but I don't know why I'm rambling on about that now. But no, I don't think that Nordschleifer is a improvement. So, which it's hard for me to say because that's where I learned how to drive as well. As I used to race AC in the the Formula One, the old Lotus 98T, and that was like one of my favorite things to do was drive that around the Nordschleifer. So I think it helps in elements, but I don't think it helps you improve overall track knowledge and learning how to race, I guess. And Platt,
And look at that,
_6,
put
thank
Mike
you for the follow.
Nause. And look at that, where that put Mike Nause driving that Lotus around Nordschleife. And now he's a washed-up commentator. He doesn't
True.
even race anymore.
Yep, exactly. So if you maybe what that says is the Nordschleifer doesn't help. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Saagar, I think you maybe just hit I think you hit the nail right on the head there. If you start driving on the Nordschleifer and learning on the Nordschleifer, you might become a commentator. So if that's something you're into, try it out. And message me if you do also want to become a commentator as well here at TRACKILICIOUS, because we are looking for other commentators. So feel free to message either me or Saagar.
And that is actually a very stern comment, but actually very true. We are looking for commentators here at the TRACKILICIOUS team, so please feel free to go ahead and message Mike Nause, more importantly than myself, about becoming a commentator. You know what's funny, though, as I started driving the Nordschleife right before I started working for TRACKILICIOUS, I was doing track day sessions at the Nordschleife, started memorizing the track by myself, and then all of a sudden, Eric Akasian asked me, he's like, hey, you used to be a commentator? I'm like, yeah, why not? Why not commentate for you guys too? I'll give this a shot. And here I am. Now I'm also the washed-up commentator that used to drive Nords.
An in-car commentator? No. Not on the Nords, especially. We've thought about it, we've discussed it, but I don't think there's really any, I think people would be underwhelmed with the result because whoa, Alex Freeman with a handful of opposite lock and a great save. But to my point here, I don't think people realize how hard it is to drive a car by just in general. You're focusing pretty much 100% of your energy on driving that car. And then I think people really don't understand is actually how difficult commentary can be to try to actually make it entertaining. So when you try to combine the two, you just get a bit of crap from both sides and it just makes a mediocre content. So
I can only imagine having ACC TV up on one monitor while I'm trying to drive with my 49-inch curved monitor and looking over every couple of minutes trying to talk about where everybody else is on track and seeing how that would go. Maybe I'll give that a shot for my GT4 debut, my resurgence to racing, and see how that goes on my personal channel. Not on the TRACKILICIOUS channel, of course, but just on my own for fun.
As you drive into the wall at Mach 10 because you were too busy trying to find the delta between two cars.
I'll develop an overlay of sorts. That way I could just see all the data at once through my screen.
That sounds like a nightmare. But
Professor Notice contact me for the API.
Yeah, clearly, as he's going to be thrilled on that one. But Bathurst has like 10 corners, a bunch of... What are you talking about, Grumpy Geriatric Gamer? Has like 23. What are you on about?
1, 2...
Just look at the notes
3.
page, Saagar. You have the notes page. Let me take.
I'm thinking about it in my head because you have Hell Corner, you have the one before the cutting, then you have the cutting. I mean, because that fourth corner doesn't really count, so there's only 3 corners, and then you go up the mountain. There's 4, 5 right before Skyline. Then you have Skyline. I'm thinking of just like in general corners because a couple of the corners are like bunched up into a couple of corners.
Yeah, there's 15 corners on the mountain alone. Yeah, like I'm not denying the rest of the track is just an oval, but the mountain is not an oval.
But really, the mountain is just like 4 very tricky corners with a couple of like kinks in them.
What? What track are you driving?
You wouldn't know. You're not a driver, Mike.
Look, I'm one of the guys that says that Monza only has like 5 corners, but
that's
Bathurst?
true. Monza does have like 4 corners.
How's
it is
your
a glorified oval with a couple of hairpins.
Yeah, Steve. No, I think Steve's hit the nail right on the head with how that would go. How's your race? Yeah. What? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, to be completely honest. But we are going to be beginning our final lap here soon. The checkered flag is soon to fall, and I certainly hope that all drivers cross it before it does, because otherwise we are in for a very long lap. And actually, Nicholas Menendez is going to cross it at this like 0-0 line, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, you know, to be fair. It's that's racing, baby. He managed to time it in perfectly, so good on Nicholas Menendez. And He is going to retire. Okay, nicely done. And we have Ollie Raza still to finish their lap. So everybody now is going to come to the line on their final lap. Next up will be Brian Clemente in the Clemente Autosports. He's looking at a pretty good improvement.
Yeah, he is right now. He's got 1.5 in his pocket right now. He's going to get to the line and carry that one forward, but he's losing a little bit of time. He's down to 1.3 overall. That still promotes him up into 4th place, 2nd row for Brian Clemente.
Not
who else is out there improving? George Elmer with 3.3 seconds gained right now in 7th position right now, the number 22. He's doing a good job. But next up will be Alex Freeman to get to the line in the number 14. He's got no time gained right now. He's actually down 0.3, it looks like, on his personal best. Alex Freeman settles into 5th place. Who's next up to the line? That's going to be Casey Swansinger, the one I wanted to watch out for next. Swansinger with a 9:08.6. Here comes Justin Beachley, the cat car, for the last time this season. Give it to us, Mike. Give us the meow.
What?
No, you're not going to meow at the
I don't
cat
know
car.
what you're on about. No, I'm not going to meow. Why would I? No. Anyways, Justin Beachley here down the Dottinger to the final corner complex. What is this guy on about? What, trying to make me make weird sounds that people are going to clip? Absolutely not.
You did say meow, though. I did get you to say it.
When?
You said I'm not going to say meow.
Oh, all right. I'll give you that. Anyways, Justin Beachley, 3.6 second improvement here, and it is going to be a bit of a few positions, but overall, I don't think that's exactly where he wanted to finish. Right smack dab in between Grush and Freeman, but just behind Freeman. Let's see here. Next to the line is going to be Joshua Worley. This is his outlap, I think, is actually, but let's see as he comes to the line here. Is there going to be a time set? It seems like no, I don't think. Joshua Worley, oh, he does. Okay, ACCTV just has been lying to me recently. That's fine. And Joshua Worley, 8th fastest.
Nice job for Squirrely Whirly. Here comes Ollie Raza getting to the line. Not looking to improve by anything right now, but just getting his last sighting lap in, getting to the line right now. An 8:53.782 being his last and his best. But excuse me, he does improve with an 8:51.917. Good job out of Ollie Raza. Here comes Luis Vasquez, the Racing Club BMW. He's coming down the back straight right now. And he's looking pretty neat and tidy. I won't say what time he's got because ACC TV has been lying to all of us right now.
Yep.
Luis Vasquez on a presumably outlap, but definitely not, as he's pushing that BMW to the absolute limits. Doing a good job of navigating the last chicane, getting to the line right now. What is Luis Vasquez able to produce as he crosses the line, Mike Nause?
It's looking like it's going to be an 8:56.735, enough for 3rd. An incredible result there, to be honest. Luis Vasquez, when the getting down to the wire, he manages to get a good lap in. Chronotis here, again, no idea if he's improving. You know, that would make this qualifying session a little bit more interesting if ACC TV actually worked, because we could talk about more things, but we can't. ACC TV, fix your stuff. All right, well, I don't need, I don't think we need any special sensors or anything like that to see that Chronotis clearly went track limits there, and also repeating the trend. Let's take a look. Phil Lee, still looking like he is within track limits. Actually, no, he's not. He has a blue dot on his name, so Dr. Porkchop is the final driver out on circuit that can improve.
And we're going to give Dr. Porkchops a whopping 14 minutes and 8 seconds to finish up this lap. Hopefully he keeps it within track limits, even if he just tiptoes his way home. Mike Nause goes for the water bottle.
Go and get some water, folks. We're about halfway through the lap. A little over halfway through the lap. We got another 3 minutes to go. Another 2 laps of a regular track to go.
Has he gone through the second carousel yet? I don't think so.
No.
I think he's about to approach it in just a few corners.
No, Chronotis is going through the second carousel right now.
Oh, there it is. Okay, for the number 42, I see it on the mini map. Thank you very much, Mike Nause. You know this place better than I do, that's for sure. That shows how... See, if you drive the Nordschleife more, you become a better commentator. That's where I have failed, as I haven't driven the Nords nearly as much as Mike Nause has. And that's true to form here, as I barely know half of the corner names. I just know which way the track goes more likely than not.
Also, watching the 24 hours of Nords helps a lot too, to be honest. That was, and having commentated about a 10-hour shift in the 24 hours of Nords as well, that did help my knowledge out as well. So, you know, I'm not going to say it was from driving it, because it really wasn't. I actually, believe it or not, I have not driven this track in ACC yet. Which is, I know, a shocker, genuinely probably to a lot of people. Yeah, I have not actually put a lap down on this circuit in a GT3 or 4 car in Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Neither have I, Mike Nause. But, you know, speaking of the 24 hours of Nords, hopefully nobody watched, or, well, I guess watched all 3 hours that was the 24-hour of Nords this year, because that was an awfully short event due to some yellow and red flags there, due to fog settling into the track and not allowing the drivers to restart. That was a very short event.
Shocker when you plan the event at the literal worst weather time of the year. Who would have guessed that it gets canceled year after year after year after year? Has there actually been a year that it hasn't had a cancellation recently? Like, I think over the past... I think
over the past 3 years.
At least.
I think over the past 3 years, it's finished underneath a red flag or a formation lap or a safety car lap, excuse me.
Yeah, it's genuinely ridiculous, to be completely honest, which is why I love the simulator version of it, because we don't have to worry about that, to be honest, and that's nice. Let's see, though. Dr. Porkchop, after all is said and done, one more corner complex left until he shoots himself down to the start-finish straight of the GP version of the circuit added back in 1984. And the lap time for Porkchop is good enough for 15th.
Not bad out of Dr. Porkchop. Qualifying will be over as soon as...
Oh no, Spady Bud needs... Oh, goodness. Is he actually on the lap or not? It doesn't say... Okay, Spady, please just invalidate. You're down on your time by a significant margin.
But he wants to do donuts out on track for us, Mike Nause.
If he starts doing that, I will just take the camera off of him, but I'm not joking either. And I'm not
He keeps the lap valid, but he's doing donuts out on track in the middle of it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Giving us his mandatory screen time. Spady Bud driving the Cherry Blossom livery. Can we get a C4 camera of this livery, though?
Yeah. That's a good idea. Let's take a look at this Neil Kerbal special, shall we? While we have plenty of time to do so. The Cherry Blossom Spady livery, Mad Fox Sim Racing.
That is a beautiful looking livery. I love the flowers, and I love how he has lined everything up very well. Not a lot of professionals can get such a bouquet to line up so perfectly. But Neil Kerbal sure has managed to find a way to make all these very complex designs that he's picked, or that his drivers have picked, make them work for him and his design aspects. So great job to Neil Kerbal. And if you need a livery for the Spooky Suzuki race coming at you this Thursday on October 30th, Wednesday, on October 30th, I know that much. Go ahead and contact Neil Kerbal and see if he can drum up something quick, fast, and in a hurry for you.
Absolutely, and I would highly recommend doing so. And yes, indeed, it's amazing what livery softwares allow you to do nowadays. As back in my day, when I had to make livery, we just had that Photoshop software where you had the wireframes, and it wasn't easy back in my day, to be honest. But I have the Morton Salt McLaren that's proud to my name. Now, I'm finally proud to say that qualifying is going to come to a wraps after 30 minutes. We started at 11, and Spady Bud has binned it in the final corner. Absolutely superlative.
Does anybody actually know what that QR code is that shows up on the banners here at the Nordschleife? I've honestly been wondering it ever since I spectated my first 24-hour of Nords race. I never busted out my phone fast enough. It shows up in the corner of the lights, but that's about it. That's all I know.
Indeed, and no improvement, by the way, for Spady Bud on that one. Shame. In multiple ways. If he'd improved, it would have been worth it. Like, I mean, you know, it is what it is. If you're improving, you're improving. I'm not going to be mad if you set a better lap, but if you're on a down lap, like, come on.
How is there 17 minutes?
What? It's 45.
How was there 17 minutes of waiting time? Never mind.
What? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're on, but we Question, and I'm not sure what that is regarding. I did see the AC Evo previews, and they look great. I've been very happy with them. Saw them at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo. And also got to see my ad at the Sim Racing Expo. Just got to plug myself here briefly because I can talk about it now. As if anyone saw it, which nobody did except for one person that messaged me who was at the expo. They heard my voice. I was in Germany without being in Germany, folks. You'd love to hear it. But anyways, hopefully I'll be at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo in Texas next year. That is going to genuinely be a goal. So hopefully we see you there. The AC, it sends you to, okay, that's what you're saying. The QR code sends you to AC Evo. Interesting. It didn't always do that, that's for sure, but it does now. Interesting. Okay. Well, now we know. Let's get on it though, folks, and meet our drivers for tonight. We have 21 of them to get through. And starting us off at the top, it is Ali Raza in the number 30 McLaren with Nicholas Menendez alongside in the 756. Luis Vasquez, third overall in the race here tonight. For the 777 from Mexico, we have Professor Carnotis alongside in the P4 for the number 42. Brian Clementi, 5th quickest in the 100 Clementi Auto Sports, and George Elmer in 6th. Alex Freeman, 7th fastest with Justin Beachley in 8th. Josh Grush running in 9th position here tonight, and Joshua Worley rounding out your top 10.
Andre Alex Alfonso in the 999 Maserati in 11th place. Alex Hansen, the 390, is in 12th place. Porsche. Casey Swansinger, the number 84, is in 13th place for the Noobs R Us team. Phil Lee in the number 79 is in 14th place. Dr. Porkchop, the number 71, is in 15th place. Spady Bud, the number 21, is in 16th place. Aaron John, the number 24, is in 17th place. John Wad, the number 95, in 18th place. Jason Provolone, the big stinky cheese, the number 82, is in 19th. Rally Dutchy, the 621, is in 20th, and rounding it out is your champion, Jaeger Karu, in the 920 in 21st place.
Indeed. And Spady, like I say, if you were up, that's fine. I have no issues if you were up. It's just that we don't know. Our timing charts are lying to us constantly, and we just assumed you were on an invalid lap or not an invalid. I thought you were initially, but no, the timing charts are, they're not friends here. And thankfully, somebody wisely thought about the fact that this should be a short outlap, so we don't have to suffer through 15 miles of cars driving at, city speeds. We get to get right into the action, at least very, very shortly, as they come down the Dottinger into the final corner complexes to round onto the GP circuit, of course. And I bet I'm not sure, okay. As we have all of the drivers lined up and ready to go here. Yellow flags are ready for the end of the GP circuit. Any of the rookie drivers that just went from the regular GP circuit over to the 24 are going to be in for a bit of a surprise if they don't remember the fact that the chicane is changed. We don't use the Yokohama S. No, excuse me, we don't use the, we do use the Yokohama S here. We don't use the, I forgot what it's honestly called on the regular circuit, but either way, here we go. Lined up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation, the drivers for the final race of the championship and the final race of the Trackalicious Championships this year. Ali Raza leads us away with Nicholas Menendez alongside, and we go green, green, green. And it's a pretty steady start for everybody in the mid-pack. No one moving, everyone holding fast. Professor Carnotis darting to the outside here, changing lanes, trying to make moves to the out of Luis Vasquez. Vasquez goes for it to the outside of Ali Raza. He's already made up the position over Menendez. Menendez clobbers the curb. It's going to be fanning out 3 wide in the back there, but everyone seemingly making it through alive. A couple drivers run wide there and take the invalid line. Side by side from Clementi and Menendez, excuse me, going down to Ford and Valvoline. Brian Clementi looks like he's going to win out.
Absolutely. Brian Clementi getting the better of the two right now. Nicholas Menendez losing out 3 positions overall. George Elmer staying right where he was off the start. Started in 6th, is in 6th right now. Justin Beachley, the cat car, he's up 1 position, started in 8th, now into 7th. And everybody driving pretty cleanly right now. Spady Bud started from the pit lane. That's why you're seeing the number 21 in the 21st spot.
We also have a Maserati out on circuit. I completely missed that. And Menendez with a horrible start. Yes, indeed, Grumpy Geriatric. Very unfortunate. Hopefully he can pick it up from here. Very curious to see what Andre Alex Afonso can do in a Maserati, one of the best sounding cars out on the grid. A 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8, honestly. Don't remember. 4.7, my apologies as I checked my notes. Shouldn't have gone off memory. But he is on the hustle and trying to make moves onto Dr. Porkchop. We'll be checking back with him a little bit later as this battle continues to ensue. Porkchop alongside there as we get ready for the squeeze to the Schumacher S's, or excuse me, with the NGK chicane. Two-wheeling there for Joshua Worley, or excuse me, for Josh Grush, is the other Josh on circuit. Plenty of cars to keep an eye on here on lap 1.
And it looked like Alex Hansen might have gotten the worst for wear there coming through the NGK chicane. The number 390 lost a couple positions. He started in 12th, down into 16th position. And it looks like we've got a battle between the Noobs Are Us car. And I think that was Provolone, the big stinky cheese man, as he's able to go through the Noobs Are Us of Casey Swanseger. Got through Dr. Porkchop, doing very well right now, driving this one forward. We've got a backup of cars right behind them, though. That is Mr. Provolone getting squeezed from, who is he around right now? Provolone, Aaron, John, Alex Hansen. That's true.
Yeah, Hansen looking to make moves here, but this is not the place to do so. You really just got to settle in and wait. Casey Swanseger being a bit of a thorn in the side for everybody else as he bottlenecked them through the first few corners of the Nordschleifer. Here's Provolone, though, trying to prove me wrong and taking the long way around as we go through the Flugplatz. And Provolone, absolutely superb overtake there. Rally Dutchy, I think, or no, that was the AMG that was behind. Wait, was that an overtake? No, that was Aaron John. Yeah, Aaron John left with really no response in his jaw on the floor.
Yeah, Provolone pulling off a big move, big gainer right now. 5 positions gained on the opening lap. Started in 19th, now all the way up into 14th position. Doing a great job driving that one forward, and that move was superb around the outside. Did a good job of driving that one forward. Here's Nicholas Menendez on his recovery drive already. Started in 2nd place, down into 5th place, working his way back up the grid is going to be a challenge. Like you said, Mike Nause, around the Nordschleife is not really where you want to make these moves, and almost runs into the back of Brian Clementi, the number 100 out in front.
No, you don't want to be making moves here, but moves can sort of just appear out of absolutely nowhere when drivers make mistakes, and that's any corner on the Nords you can make a mistake on. As I said earlier, this is just one of those tracks that you can kind of be in your mind and you're thinking, okay, I know I have a right-hander coming up, but then you forget which right-hander you have coming up, and it's actually a bit sharper, and then there was a left-hander after that, right, and I thought it was, and so you have an issue where then all of a sudden you're in the wall, and the rest of the people around you are left smiling because you have absolutely made a mare of your own lap, which is easy to do here on the Nords. It's just something that we're going to see at some point without a doubt. But right now the drivers are going to be sharp and on their best behavior, trying to stay alive for the time. But you can even see Nicholas Menendez, he's posturing maybe to make a move somewhere around the, the Kellenhard, or into, of course, the Kesselchen. There we go, that's what I'm looking for.
Now, Mike, I got a question for you. When you're driving the Nordschleife, what is the most important thing, or what are you focusing on the most? Are you focusing on corner by corner, or are you focusing on the flow of the track? How do you memorize a track with over 80 corners?
Hopefully you practiced enough. If you're reacting corner per corner, you are in a bad situation. You can react sector by sector is kind of how I take it with the Nords, at least with my brain, is I have little benchmarkers in terms of corner complexes where, for example, you have like the foxhole to the, basically the very slow left-hand sector that I don't really know the name of. Again, so there's so many corners you just can't even figure out exact, but you need little mental kind of markers that you put on the track, micro objectives as you might call them. That's a great question. At least that's how I personally tackle it, but as a pro driver, if you're Ollie Raza or something like that, you're driving off of flow, you know the circuit like the back of your hand, you just have put enough laps in. That's just kind of, it comes with skill, and I lack that, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you very much for answering that, because I just basically feel the flow of the track, and hence my lap times never really improve around the Nordschleife. I'm usually just driving around the 8:45 mark in a MX-5 Mazda Cup car, and that's just when I am flat out everywhere that I look. But those Mazda Cup cars are no GT4, that's for sure. And these guys are having a lot to deal with here.
Yeah, they really are here, and Joshua Worley is trying to get by Grush. It's Josh on Josh violence, trying to prove who is the superior Josh, and as it stands right now, Grush is on top, but for how long? That's the question. Worley looking to change that one up with any opportunity he can. Yellow flag out for Phil Lee, and he immediately returns to the garage. I think that was in the foxhole, judging by the look of the... No, because I think we're in the foxhole right now, so that can't be the case. So, never mind. That's clearly incorrect. Joshua Worley, though, is focused on the prize ahead, and that is the Fear Nothing moto car of Grush.
Yeah, looking forward right now, Josh Grush definitely having some pace beneath him, but we saw him a little bit squirrely earlier on during his qualifying lap, so hopefully Joshua Worley can find a way to capitalize on Josh Grush and the Fear Nothing Moto team out in front, but time will only tell what that mistake will be. Right now we're looking at Brian Clementi's rear wing as he's being chased down by Nicholas Menendez in the 756.
And we have some cheers in chat for Mr. Joshua Worley as well. You love to see it. Thank you, Twisted Packet, for joining us in the chat. We're watching the rear wing of Clementi as Menendez tries to find anything he can, but now we're getting down towards the second carousel where the Dottinger opens up, and that is where the best overtaking opportunity will be. It's all about setup and really just relying on your straight line speed that you more than likely had in the pre-setup to this race. Here's Menendez, though, lining something up onto Clementi, but you need to be so careful through this high-speed roller coaster sector in the lead-up to the second carousel. After that, it's fair game, but up and before that, that's one of my favorite sectors of the Nords, by the way. It's like I said, it's the roller coaster where it's such high-speed corners. After every single corner, you have a big jump as well that you have to take at a certain point that if you're not careful, you can easily crash, and obviously the infamous YouTube corner is in that sector as well. But here's Menendez. I think the writing's on the wall for Clementi.
Looks left, looks right, looks center, just stays in the slipstream right now. Nicholas Menendez biding his time, stuck in the rear wing behind Brian Clementi right now. And I think he's going to wait till the very end of this straightaway before he makes his moves. Can this AMG keep up with the McLaren out in front? I don't think so. That McLaren looks like it's pulling away, actually. The gap is just staying steady right now on the timing tower, but you can see the car just getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we go underneath the way ahead bridge. And right now, nothing can be said and done about that AMG chasing down the McLaren out in front. And it looks like Brian Clementi has just checked out towards the end of that one, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I went on board there was because he's banging off of his rev limiter at 264 kph, and he just cannot move. The AMG needs another gear. They forgot to put a 7th gear in that car for the Nords, and that is the difference. Brian Clementi, he just walks away with such a significant advantage. It's pretty... insurmountable in terms of straight line speed. As Grumpy Geriatric pointing out, the only way that he really can overtake is on the GP circuit or on the Nords somewhere where Brian makes a mistake. You're never going to be able to win in a straight up drag race with the AMG and the McLaren, and well, Pitwall will prove that considering you look at the straight line speed. 282 kph for the McLaren 570. That's genuinely almost as quick as a GT3 car.
Wow. That is blazing fast. Let's look at the battle between 15th and 16th. Alex Hansen and Aaron John are awfully close coming in towards T1. It looks like side-by-side action between the 390 and the 24 right now out of the exit of turn 1. And Alex Hansen really trying to make this one work around the outside of that AMG, but the AMG holds on for just one more lap, and that number 24 is driving forward, and the 390 is flashing its headlights out of frustration behind.
Yeah, well, flashing your headlights is not going to help the overtake. It's just going to get maybe a bit annoying for the guy ahead, but all in all, just kind of like poking a bear sometimes and maybe causes a bit more. But of course, everyone's entitled to their own decisions. I'm not an anti-flasher, don't get me wrong. If you flash me, I just don't care. I think that's hopefully that's most drivers. It shouldn't let it affect you. But here we see Alex Hansen maybe going to line up a move here. He shouldn't be able to. He's on the outside. He needs to go full send, and yeah, that would be a high commitment, high speed overtake if we were to see one, and with the unfavorable line, it's just not going to happen. And very interesting, Grumpy Jerry going to say here. It is actually faster than some GT3s. That's a good point. Like the what's the slowest GT3 now that I'm thinking about it? But there's not too many very slow GT3s out there. When it comes to the GT4s, though, Just for reference, 282 kph for the McLaren, 276 for the BMW, and there's nearly 10 kph to the next BMW as well at 273. Here we go. This should be the move. Alex Hansen. Oh, nope, never mind. Oh, what a save. Incredible.
What a save. Amazing driving out of Alex Hansen, working that oversteer and that commitment like a boss there. That 390. Knew that he wasn't going to stick behind the number 24 for another lap. Sent it up the inside of the chicane, and he found his way through on, looked like that was Aaron John, correct, in that number 24. Swanseger having an incident slowing down through the green hell sector. That's the 10th place car, the number 84. And now Jason Provolone, and I think that'll be Andre Alex Alfonso in the Maserati catching back up to him.
Yes, indeed. The Mazda out on track hasn't done too well. It's don't want to say shocker. It isn't necessarily the most meta, quote-unquote, car around, but it is certainly cool. Let's go on board real quick and just listen here for a second, because this is just one of those cars that if you haven't ever heard before, well, you're missing out. Okay, well, of course he lifts. We're in a lifting sector. I should have went... But anyways, you can hear the downshifts. There we go. Very aggressive. It's an intimidating sounding car, but it's not that quick.
Unfortunately for Andre Alex Alfonso, started off in 11th place, down into 12th place now, got passed by Provolone, the big stinky cheese man, number 82, doing work in that McLaren out in front.
And I gotta say, Andre Alex Alfonso, he may not be faster than the McLaren of Provolone, but he has won the style points tonight, and has my vote for the driver of the day wherever he finishes. I don't care if he finishes last or first. The car selection alone, this man deserves a medal. But now, let's take a look at the fight here with with Provolone, the number 82 car, chasing down Swanseger. Though there are not many overtaking opportunities, you just have to sort of wait for a mistake. Unless you, well, bully your way by, as Provolone is trying to do here, it's going to be a little bit more than stalking his prey. He's kind of going on the full send, and uh-oh, what the heck has gone on here? Justin Beachley, Brian Clementi, the C's part for Alex Freeman, but disaster strikes elsewhere.
Let's take a look at this replay really quickly. So the 100 leads right now, goes off into the grass, clatters with the wall, comes across the track, kind of stuck in the middle of it, but Beachley just has an uninvolved incident himself in that number 18 in the cat car, collects a couple of K-rails to boot, and is going to have to pay a hefty fine. Mike Nause, how much is it when you hit a wall here at the Nürburgring circuit?
It is going to cost you roughly, well, it depends, I guess is the question. Do you need a tow vehicle? Because if you need a tow vehicle after you hit the wall, you're also going to have to pay for that for about 300 quid. But all in all, a hit to the wall, depending on how big of a sector that you hit, is a roughly whopping $150 just to get the guys called out, and $79 per bit of barrier. So it can be quite the hefty repair.
Ouch. Those are a lot of barriers that need to be repaired. That's going to be a hefty fine for some of these drivers. If this were real life racing, that's for sure. But thankfully, this is all electronic racing. You don't have to worry about car repairs. Don't have to worry about tire prices either. Spadey Bud trying to get around Aaron John right now. The positions were inverted for just a second. Spadey Bud chopping it up left, right, and center, working his way. The number 21 trying to get around the 24 as best as possible. Aaron John just seemingly being a sitting duck, tumbling backwards right now. Where did Aaron John start? That's the number 24. He started off in 17th place. He's actually up one position right now. Started in 17th, now into 16th. But Spadey Bud's trying to make that inversed right now.
He is, and well, he does on cue as Aaron John careens himself into the barrier, and Spadey Bud says, thank you very much for that. Very aggressive posturing from Spadey Bud. He kept looking in the mirror left and right, and just kind of unsettled Aaron John, which, you know, fair play there. Jason Provolone, a little bit further ahead, still trying to contend with Swanseger, but not finding the light of day. Looking at the track temp, we got 21 degrees ambient, 21 degrees track, so tire wear could be pretty average. In fact, we're in the almost ideal temperature, I would say, for conditions out on circuit. It couldn't get much better than this, certainly compared to the real life 24-hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Spady Bud already taking his pit stop. George Elmer taking theirs. Jaeger Caro already serving a pit stop as well. That's awfully interesting. How do you think the drivers are going to fare on these tires going the remaining 28 minutes and 50 seconds of this race, Mike?
Shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I don't expect tires to be too much of a problem here on the Nords. You have a long section of cooling. There's a lot of wear that gets put through them, and you're driving through quite a few corners, but it's an even left and right. It's you're not wearing one side more than the other necessarily, so I think for the most part, the drivers are just going to elect to run the rubber from start to finish. 45 minutes, not going to be enough time to warrant a new set of boots, but you never know. I mean, it's only 5 additional seconds to change them, so I tend to get this call wrong a lot of the times because I think I just value, whoa, Jason Provolone there, a little bit of a mistake. But I think I just don't value the 5 seconds enough, or I value the 5 seconds too highly. I'm not sure. I don't know. Grumpy, what are your thoughts on that as somebody I know who has quite experience around the circuit?
And looking at Alex Freeman getting chased down by Joshua Worley. Worley was able to get around Josh Grush and Justin Beachley as they were both involved in that accident earlier. Number 47 chopping it up. Number 47, of Joshua Worley in 6th place right now. Chasing down Alex Freeman in 5th place. Number 14 out in front, the McLaren getting chased down by a Camaro. This is going to be awfully interesting once we get down to the straight. I'm curious to see who's got the better top speed coming down in a straight line, Mike.
The McLaren. It's not even.
Still.
It's not even going to be close. No, it's the McLaren is busted, man. I'm not going to lie. In a straight line here on the Dottinger in particular, it just has almost another gear to the other cars. So I'm going to hop on board here with Joshua Worley, and we're going to notice one thing, and that we're banging off the rev limiter. Well, we're going up the hill. I picked a bad time. But we were banging off the rev limiter before this, and you go on board with Alex Freeman, he still's got room for acceleration pretty much, and he is at top speed over 280 kilometers per hour. So again, GT3 straight line speeds versus a GT4 straight line speed. Who's gonna win? I'll let you decide.
Yeah, that's fair. And right away, Alex Freeman deciding to come into the pits already, splitting this one nearly down the middle right now at 26 minutes and 40 seconds. Hits the pit limiter, comes right in right now. No big deal but Josh Grush is having a big deal for FNM. Let's see what happened really quick on the instant replay.
He's gonna gutter it. Yeah, I just overcooked it actually. I thought he unsettled. There's that little bump. Oh, it's hard to explain. If you don't know, you don't know. But there's a little bump a bit further back that he hit. Oh, the Maserati also just kind of, I think, avoiding the situation very safely. But there's a little, like, divot, a culvert in the road where the water drainage goes. And if your tire ends up a little bit too far over, you're going to get shot into the stratosphere pretty much. And I think Josh Grush may have found that exact little bump that we're talking about. And I think Spady also found it in qualifying. That was what caused him to make the mistake on that lap. And I guess the Camaro, just with the amount of power that it has, I can't handle that, I guess. And Grumpy just maybe try. That's the other thing, is he might have just fully overcooked it. I'm undecided on if it's one of the two though. I don't think there's anything else that could have happened.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunate, unforced error from Josh Grush for the Fear Nothing Moto team, but he's still holding on to a top 10 in 9th place right now, and he might be 2nd place in his class as well for the amateurs. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, let's take a look. We do have multiple categories here, of course, and yes, indeed, he is in 2nd position behind Casey Swanseeger. Oh my, Josh Grush, a little bit deep. Again, just got to dial it back here. Let the likes of Dr. Porkchop on through without too much of an issue. Okay, or fight it. All right, we're in for a battle here.
And actually, looking at the AM standings as well, I forgot that we had a separate class here. Myself, Alex Hansen with 346 points to his name, Casey Swanseeger with 323 points, Josh Grush with 316 points. That's your 1, 2, and 3. And that's about it right now. You got about 23 points separating 1st and 2nd right now. Alex Hansen leading Casey Swanseeger. So Alex Hansen actually has an opportunity to win a championship here tonight at Tracklicious.
Oh, wow. Excellent. As we see now for Dr. Porkchop, a less excellent situation as we go through the Hudson box. We will have to settle down and, well, wait, as there is not much of an opportunity. And Jason Provolone with a wheel disconnect as well. You absolutely hate to see it. Technical difficulties arising midway through the Nords. and that is never what you want to see when it comes to having a race end. And Provolone, good luck in the next seasons. It was great to have you in this championship, as always.
Sure was a pleasure to see you out on track, the big cheese. You were chasing down, who was that? Swansinger for a good while as well. I was excited to see how that one all fared out, but of course, RIPs in chat for the disconnecting of the wheel, and hopefully your dog wasn't involved in that disconnect, and hopefully it was just a mechanical failure.
Or maybe hopefully
hopefully it wasn't a mechanical failure of your wheel whatsoever. I should say.
Hopefully it was the dog that just unplugged the cord. That's actually the worst of the two evils, I feel. But yeah, hopefully everything's all good there, Provolone, and we get you back out on track sooner rather than later. We have a leader, by the way, in case you were curious. It's Ali Raza.
Who's that?
He's doing quite well.
Raza.
10 seconds ahead of Luis Vasquez, who I wanted to mention, by the way, earlier. Nicholas Menendez had a near-death incident when he got involved with the two spinners earlier on. He slipped through the likes of Brian Clemente, or no, not Brian Clemente, Justin Beachley, who had that incident, and he missed by, I would say, about a hair. And so excellent work there from Menendez in terms of collision avoidance. He is 3 seconds off the back of Chrono, who's currently sitting on a podium. Wow, Saagar, your green screen really did not like the fact that you just drank water.
Ooh. It did not like my water bottle whatsoever. You know what it also doesn't like? It doesn't like Rexy.
Oh, it doesn't. It is very transparent, that Rexy, isn't it now?
My green screen does not like Rexy as well. That is very funny. But yeah, 1, 2, and 3 right now. Ali Raza, Luis Vasquez, and Professor Cronos. Cronos driving this one pretty neatly. The number 42 down to third place. Fastest lap of the race going out to, I believe, is Ali Raza with an 8:53.672. It's not showing up. Thank you very much, ACC TV, for ruining that for us. But also, Professor Kanotis driving 8:58 right now. A lot of drivers sub 9 minutes. That is phenomenal race pace for everybody out. But Casey Swansiger with a 9:09 doing very well. And it looks like Brian Clemente is chasing him down very close out on track between the two of them.
Yeah, two McLarens heading it off right now. Last time around, a significant advantage for Casey Swansiger, but Brian Clemente has the faster lap overall. That was that incident, of course, that let Brian down to this position in the first place, and now battling with a different category. I don't expect Casey to fight this one too hard. If Clemente gets alongside, I think Casey's just going to say, okay, you win. Because it doesn't matter. This isn't the fight that he's looking for. You got to pick your battles and know who you're fighting. And Casey just shouldn't be risking any unnecessary battles. He has the lead of the red plates. I'm sure he wants to prove that he can race with the white plates as well, but it's about safety, you know. And who do you want to battle? And Brian Clemente, well, he wants to go and he wants to battle with Joshua Worley ahead, but 12 seconds up the road after Casey Swansiger, that's where he's going to have to find himself.
But careful, Brian Clemente. The last guy that got close to Casey Swansiger got his wheel disconnected. So make sure you watch out for any mechanical failures that may come your way. We've got our eyes on you, Swansiger. Don't you worry. You're just sending cats and dogs to our computers to disconnect USB cords. I see you, mother. You know, and it was another McLaren too. Just to also point out, it was also another McLaren. Conspiracy theories, Mike Nause? I think not. I think I know what's going on here. Swansiger has got us all convinced that he's a decent guy. He's sending cats and dogs to our house to disconnect USB ports. You heard it here first, folks.
It's like the ancient equivalent of DDoSing somebody, but like I said, I guess modern problems require ancient solutions, you know? That's just a saying as old as time itself, right? But anyways, moving on from that. Casey's a great guy, by the way. I just want to clarify that. We have... Whoa, I think that just looks more dicey because we're on splitter cam, actually. I think that might be the line. But Brian Clemente did have to get off the throttle, and he lost a bit. So I could be wrong on that. In fact, he lost about 1.5 seconds there to the good. So just struggling to stay alive right now is, well, pretty much everybody, to be completely honest. This is the closest battle on circuit. And again, it's not really for anything right now. This is just for the bragging rights. It really isn't even for that either, to be honest. It's just kind of for nothing.
Well, we don't see plates, Mike. We just don't see plates at all. white plate, red plate, blue plate, doesn't matter to us. They're all battling for position overall, and that's what matters in our hearts. We signed up to see a race, and boy, are we getting one right now. Bragging rights, the most important thing, says Grumpy Geriatric Gamer. Of course they are. To be able to battle as a red plate with a whole bunch of white plates and say that you topped them all has got to be feeling pretty good. Swanseker has actually been on a great drive this season. I want to take a look at his standings overall. A lot of fourth place, second place, first place, third, first, fifth. He's been a little inconsistent compared to Alex Hansen, who's done first, second, first, third, one. So a lot of good driving from these drivers up at the front of the pack. Josh Grush being in third place with a 1.5322. But we've got side-by-side action, and Clementi is able to go through on Swanseker, just like you said, Mike Nause.
Literally exactly as I had drawn it up. And Casey, I gotta say, hats off to you. That was the proper play. I mean, I get what Grumpy Geriatric Gamer saying. It's not about beating your opponent. It's about humiliating them, which is maybe true. Look, I'm all for that, but don't make a fool out of yourself. That's the bigger thing, right? Is you can make a fool out of the opponent. That's great. But if you try to do that and then you make a fool out of yourself, well, who's the real fool? I mean, to be fair, here we go. Casey Swanseker is going to try to come back, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, he just backs out. Very intelligent. Like I said, I don't think Casey has really any intent. If he gets by, I think he gets by. But right now, I think Brian Clementi is more of just a thorn in the side to Casey, and Casey's a thorn in the side to Brian. So they just happen to fall on the same piece of tarmac right now, and I wouldn't even be opposed to seeing one of them pit and the other one stay out. And, well, we're going to see both of them pit, so fair enough.
Speaking of pit stops, Ollie Raza, Professor Cornotis, Joshua Worley, Brian Clementi, Casey Swanseker, all into the pits right now. And it looks like Josh Grush as well and Dr. Porkchop are all towards the pit lane right now. Dr. Porkchop might not be committing just yet. No, he is committing to the pit line right now.
Good strategy call, I would say, all the way around from these drivers. An extremely conservative pit entry from Dr. Porkchop. Hey, I respect it, but, you know, one way that you can maybe improve your time into pit lane, Saagar, do you know how you can maybe do that?
Practice your pit stops. Say it with us, everybody. Practice your pit stops. It's as easy as saying, as old as, well, since I've been commentating, I've said it probably every single race, and I will continue to, because I will, I'll say it until the cows come home, or something like that. Is that the saying? No, that's not the saying. Why are the cows away from home, Mike?
Well, no, but it's till the dogs come home. What is the saying? Till the cats come home? No.
It is till the cows come home.
It is? Okay. Yeah. It is an odd saying. Now that, I mean, when I say it out loud, it definitely, like, I've heard it before, and when I said it out, I've never said that before, so no, it is an odd that. Why are the cows not home? Maybe
they're not home on the range, where the deer and the antelope range. You don't know the song? Home on the range.
Oh, that song? I don't know the lyrics to that song.
Antelopes rain, dun dun. Joshua really getting around. Brian Clementi, it looks like? No, that'll be George Elmer, the big glue man himself in the Simnut Thundercats, the 22, in 7th place right now. And who has taken their pit stops? Both of them have taken their pit stops, so that is for position overall. Good driving there.
Midwest FPS. Summing that one up perfectly. Neil seemed to enjoy it, which I guess you hit Neil's sense of humor right on the head there. I'm with Midwest FPS. I'm just going to be honest. One went right over my head. And even still knowing the song, but no.
Oh, golly. It's where the deer and the antelope play. Okay, my bad. Thank you very much for the correction, Neil Kerbal. I don't know if we can trust your song lyrics, though. You told us that, what song was that?
We Didn't Start the Fire? Yeah, you did false information us with the We Didn't Start the Fire, Neil. I don't know if you were being factual or if you were capping, but what you said, I think, was cap, unless you can provide me with a better source than I found.
Yeah, you were making clowns of us all, and we both fell for it for a little while. And then after the stream, we both sat back, looked up the lyrics, and we're like, no, Neil was wrong.
It's not said the worst attorney.
It's not said the worst attorney. It's not.
We looked it up. It was said in jest. We took it serious. Neil, everything
so
you say
seriously.
is serious. Okay, we do need to... I was going to say we need to get back to the... There's no action, chat. I'm sorry, but there is no action currently on circuit. When there is, I can promise you that I'm keeping an eye out and hopefully we catch it. But for right now, it's podcast hour here at TRACKILICIOUS for the next 20 minutes, realistically.
Oh boy, when you say it like that, Mike Nause, we got 20 more minutes left of racing, because you're right, 13 minutes on the clock plus 1 lap by the looks of it, as the 777 is getting around through about a quarter way through the track, so we'll probably see a +1 at least, unless Ollie Raza decides to break at the line and wait for everybody else, but I doubt it.
Ollie Raza also took tires in the pit stop. That's how comfortable he is. Everybody pretty much around him, well, it's a 50-50 for the most part in terms of tire strategy. In fact, more drivers electing to take tires than not. So Grumpy Geriatric Gamer, see, this is where, like, I gotta admit, I'm on the same page as you in my thought process, where I don't see the need to give up the track position, but I guess if on the Nords, 5 seconds is a drop in the bucket compared to the lap time, so... But I mean, hey, to me, 5 seconds is still 5 seconds. So a lot of drivers going for the tire strategy, so they're going to have good rubber at the end. But drivers like Brian Clementi electing to stay on their old set of boots. And racing George Elmer, I think that's maybe... Oh, goodness, what has happened to George? This is not how the aerodynamicist had drawn this one up, that's for certain.
No, that AMG looking like it's seen better days. That number 22 with that bonnet flapping up in the wind. That's got to be slowing itself down in a straight line, but not that it needs any help. That McLaren pulling those GT3 speeds off. This is only a matter of time before Brian Clementi is able to get around George Elmer. Do you think he'll be able to do it through the mountain section, or do you think he's got to wait till the back straight, Mike?
I think we'll see. I mean, it's down to George Elmer at this point when Brian Clementi gets by. I think this is really George Elmer's position to lose. Brian's got the hustle on, he's got the pace, but overtaking's tough, and that's just not really, it's just difficult. You can wait till you get to, so if you can see on the mini-map where the number 42 is right now, kind of down towards Kesselchen in that S's sector. That will be a good opportunity to go for a move just from the McLaren, just due to how quick it is, because it is genuinely stupid quick in a straight line. But you need to be close. You can't be as far away as he is right now. He's got to close the gap up, and 1.5 seconds is not going to be good enough.
And Brian Clementi might still be carrying some of that damage from that incident where he brushed up against the Armcos here at the Nordschleife, and hopefully he might have gotten some of that repair during that 28-second stop. George Elmer, however, has got a lot of damage, so we'll see that pace difference come into play very soon and very quick.
And as I will admit here, as Grumpy Geriatric Gamer is pointing out, I have watched more esports racing on this track than I have watched kind of league racing. And yes, I will agree that most people should not be going for moves in this part of the track, but there we see George Elmer, he complies. If you go side by side through here, you need absolute, utter precision with your car, and doing it in a GT4 is very difficult. A GT3 even, it's still maybe a little bit easier, but still very tough at itself. But you watch some of the esports drivers and they do it like it's easy. You watch them go side by side through the entire Kesselchen sector, and they just don't have an incident. And I don't understand how they do it, but they're built different, to be completely honest. I guess practice makes perfect, which we see from some of our front runners like Ollie Raza.
Has Alex Hansen taken a pit stop on your timing tower? I see him has serving one, 29.9, but on the ACC leaderboard, it shows him not taking a pit stop. Very peculiar.
I also see that, and my only assumption that could be is that he didn't take fuel. He took tires, but he didn't take fuel, because I think the one mandatory requirement is that you have at least 1 liter of fuel being thrown on board, so he clearly didn't meet pit requirements, is from what I can tell, but you're right. I agree that I see on ACC TV he has in fact made his pit stop. It's a similar time to everybody around him, but he still has 1 stop left.
And I'm going to look at the points really quickly to see how the points are divvied up in this championship, because this might mean that Casey Swansinger could potentially be able to win this one as we look at the scoring very quickly. So I'm not sure if they do it by positions overall or if they do it by positions in your class, but either way, in class. So Swansker would get 60 points, and it looks like Hansen would get, he would get 44 points. Wow, this actually has championship implications written all over it, with a 16-point deficit right now, and there is a 23-point deficit in the championship. So if Alex Hansen has to take another pit stop and serve this mandatory, he'll tumble down the order towards Aaron John and John Wad potentially.
Yeah, there's no if. He needs to. I mean, that the ACC doesn't lie. He did not meet pit requirements. Why? I don't know. But Alex Hansen did not do whatever was necessary to for the in-game stewards to be happy with him stopping. So, and again, my only assumption would be that he didn't take fuel, which I find very hard to believe, to be completely honest, as you just have to literally take 1 liter of fuel, and that's your only requirement at all, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Otherwise, would he even be able to complete a 45-minute race in these GT4s? Of course, right? With a full tank.
In the Cayman, yeah, GT4s aren't that they're not that fuel hungry. They're more fuel efficient. I think the Cayman has not a big tank. I think it's got one of the smaller GT4 tanks, but shouldn't have an issue making it a 45-minute race. What am I talking about? 45-minute race easily, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Luis Vasquez, Nicolas Menendez, both of them into the pits. Cronotis and Ali Raza will both inherit their positions back. Actually, excuse me, Professor Cronotis gets promoted into second place overall as he's able to get around Luis Vasquez and Nicolas Menendez.
Strategic play paying off, and that is what not taking tires can do for you. 5 seconds gained, and the track position is held for Cronotis. So this is the strategy that both Grumpy Geriatric Gamer and I agree on, and Cronotis seems to as well. Chrono and I are often on the same wavelength, and for the most part, honestly, I don't understand why I can predict his strategies down so well, but maybe it's because we both just have the same incorrect view on strategy sometimes. I'm not saying his strategies always work, let me just clarify that right now, but we're always thinking the same way, and I don't know, I take pride in that, I guess? Chrono, maybe not so. He shouldn't, maybe. I don't think Chrono should take pride in thinking like me, though.
Well, 2.3 second gap over Luis Vasquez, Nicolas Menendez with a 5.2 second gap, 7 seconds back from Cronotis right now. And Rally, Dutchy, and Dr. Porkchop were within a second of each other, but that gap has expanded to 1.6. Next closest battle on track is going to be George Elmer and Justin Beachley. Beachley's going to be on a recovery drive right now. He's doing 9:02s compared to George Elmer's 9:14 that last lap around. And it looks like Justin Beachley was able to repair that damage in 9th place, the number 18.
Just doing some quick maths. We're on the final lap, everybody. Yes, we are on the final lap, everybody. This is it. Ali Raza is on the parade lap. I don't think we're getting another one, so, yeah. Nordschleifer, everybody, for the finale. Not gonna lie, not the most exciting championship finish I've ever seen, but you know, it's still a championship nonetheless, and it's been a great championship all the way through. An incredible effort from Ali Raza down to a T. He has managed to deliver race win after race win. His worst result is, in fact, going to be... What is his worst result here? It is a P1, technically. This is his worst result. Minus his drop round. He had 1 drop round, minus the actual drop round that he finished 7th. His worst result is a 1st position.
Wow, that is phenomenal. He has been dominating all season long. Let's take a look at that battle between Beachley and George Elmer as the gaps come down to 0.3 of a second. Beachley is able to produce those 9:02s compared to the 9:14s of Elmer out in front right now. And the gap is under half a second, slinking back and forth. That Simnuts Thundercats car is not faring very well compared to the cat car of Justin Beachley in the Beach GT.
No, Beachley, after getting that damage repaired, he had a 49-second stop, got a new set of rubber on as well, and in the equal machinery, George Elmer is in, well, not so equal machinery, considering the massive aerodynamic disadvantage that is being pressed on the front end of that AMG GT4, and as we go negotiating our way here down towards the long right-hander of Armberg, I think, is coming up here as we get ready to go towards Armberg side by side. Woof, a bit of a hefty sideways movement from George Elmer. Justin Beachley just says, okay, that's a bit risky. I'll back out. I can find another spot on this lap. Still plenty of time to go.
Yeah, the number 18 backing out of that one. Both drivers going a bit slower than they'd like to through that section. But this is the battle for position overall between them two. And points are on the line for Justin Beachley as he's trying to clinch this championship for himself. Will this have championship implications for him in the pro category? I don't think so. I think he's got a hefty lead over George. Actually, this is the championship battle right now between second and third. Justin Beachley's in second, George Elmer's in third. But of course, the points are all just for fun, but the 288 that Justin Beachley has will be nothing compared to the 261 of George Elmer in third. So this is just a battle for the championship bragging rights overall.
Unless Justin Beachley does what Alex Freeman does there and parks himself on the side and loses a significant number of positions, then yes, more than likely Justin Beachley is going to finish this in the championship terms ahead of George Elmer. George Elmer, though, still giving him a run for his money on circuit. We are running out of track to do so, almost halfway through the lap, give or take 4/10. I guess that's, what, 2/5? Anyways, we just pay no mind to the man who can't do math. And George Elmer fends another few corners here, but this is where the opportunities start to open back up on the Nords as we go down to one of the slowest corners on the track, if not the slowest corner on the track, and then back up the hill once more.
And back up the hill once more we go, all the way out to the exit curbing for Mr. Elmer. And then Beachley follows suit, kicks up a little bit of pocket sand, pushing as hard as he can. The gap now 1 second, under a second, and it's come down to 7/10 as Beachley in that cat car chases down the Simnuts Thundercats. And I didn't think about it. We've got two cat cars chasing each other down right now. The Thundercats and the actual cat car of CC.
Very true. That is actually a great observation. It's a cat fight down to the end here as we get ready to go through. No, we've gone through Miss Hit Miss. And now on the back stretch, this is not the time or the place to go for a move. Justin Beachley, this is the time to wait and get nice and close. As we go down towards Kesselchen, though, the opportunity has firmly arisen here, and you pretty much have to commit yourself. The overspeed for Justin Beachley is just too much to contend with, and George Elmer cannot fight it. That battle not done yet as we have the run down towards the carousel. It's still kind of up in the air, but no, there we see George Elmer get a bit further back, and we will now, I think, focus our attention up to Luis Vasquez, who's trying to catch Professor Chronotis.
Trying to catch Professor Chronotis, but 1.8 second gap now, and it's closing very fast. 1.5 now the gap, 1.6, 1.8. It keeps on slinking back and forth. Time giveth and time taketh away. But I think Professor Chronotis had the best strategy overall to not take tires, knowing that this was going to be a 4-lap race or 5-lap race in total. And we will run down the clock here. 55 seconds left on it. And we're going to be finishing off this championship with an epic 24 hours of Nords event. Thank you very much, Mike Nause, for this opportunity to be here with you. It's been an amazing championship to run with and amazing battling all season long.
Absolutely, and it's my pleasure, Saagar, to have you alongside in the booth, carrying as well while I was away and out of state. And all in all, just being an absolute legend and a great guy. So thank you very much, Saagar, for joining us in the championship, and everybody behind the scenes as well that provides all of the wonderful things here at TRACKILICIOUS. Of course, we have Ali Raza, one of our league managers in total here, and an admin at TRACKILICIOUS. Professor Chronotis getting all of the servers set up and all the bots that are required in Discord to keep these championships running. And holy smokes, Chronotis needs to be very careful as he bumbles his way on through the second carousel. But an incredible effort from Chrono all the way around from the track to the behind-the-scenes action. Neil Kerbal as well in chat, providing us with our thumbnails and just also great information about the drivers that we also fail to use constantly, Saagar. That is my bad for sure, but thank you, Neil, for setting that up, of course, and just everybody around, Eric, for providing everything and more. All of our stewards, Justin Beachley, George Elmer. I think those are two stewards having a go and many, many more. If I forgot you or if I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, but thank you if you are. Ali Raza, he's done it. Race over, championship over, and the GT4 Open has in fact concluded. Ali Raza with the win tonight, and Professor Chronotis has found himself on the second step of the podium due to strategy. Well, he hasn't yet. Hold on, there's still a couple more corners left, and anything can happen in the Nords. He manages to negotiate it. There we go. Chronotis, everybody, with the alternate strategy in the field amongst him. He didn't take tires, and it paid off. The track position wins out.
A great drive out of Professor Chronotis. Luis Vasquez taking home P3, still getting a sip of that champagne on that third step. Nicholas Menendez in fourth place. Joshua Rowley with an amazing drive coming home in fifth. Overall, he's gained 5 positions from the start. Started in 10th place, now ending up in 5th place overall. Good driving out of him, for sure.
Brian Clemente up to the line after that with Justin Beachley soon to finish. George Elmer, Alex Freeman, and Casey Swanseeger rounding out your top 10 and first in the red plate category. Josh Grush here, last minute moves onto Andre Alex Afonso. There's nothing in this, to be completely honest, but a singular number next to his name. There's no point changes whatsoever, but there we go. Josh Grush in the Fear Nothing Moto gets a position done on the final last little bit. Just one thing to add to the tally here for tonight, and Andre Alex Afonso still winning the style points for taking the Mazda out to the Nords.
Wow, and I want to check the scoring one more time to see what the difference is going to be. So first and fifth will be just the 16 points separating them. Man, this was a close finish for Alex Hansen.
What just happened? I mentioned anything can happen in the last few corners. Andre Alex Afonso losing some style points, I think. Let's take a look at what just unfolded, as I'm pretty sure this is all on Andre, the 999. Was this an unforced error? There's that little culvert. You can see the car get unsettled as he went too deep. Dr. Porkchop also just careens into him at way too high speeds. So also a mistake from Dr. Porkchop. A bit of monkey see, monkey do, unfortunately. And, well, that's 14th now instead for Andre Alex Afonso, but still, he's in the Mazda.
Yeah, he's in the Maserati for sure. And a little bit of frustration coming out there into the wall. And this is the championship battle that I was talking about. It looked like it was just 24 points separating the leader from second place right now. But now it's going to be just the handful of points separating P1 and P2 for them overall. This was an amazing championship from start to finish, and especially in the AM category, Alex Hansen will take the win over Casey Swansinger, taking it to the line.
Absolutely, and that will conclude our night for tonight. Well, obviously, we are going to have a word with our drivers, but what an amazing championship we have had. And just a reminder to everybody before you go, we have the Spooky Suzuki race coming up very, very shortly, October 30th, 2 days away. That's Wednesday, in case you were curious, at 11 p.m. Eastern or at 8 p.m. Pacific. And it's a livery contest as well. It's also a race, but it's a livery contest. So I highly advise you participate in the livery contest. You don't have to, but you should. You should participate because Neil Kerbal worked really hard on the document and all these liveries as well. So you should join. Yes. Anyways, let's move on here now to the interviews and see if we can wrangle up some of our drivers. In fact, I think we have. And starting us off, Saagar Bakshi, why don't you take us along here with Professor Chronotis?
Professor Chronotis, hello. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Congratulations on a fantastic podium. You've done yourself very proud driving this one forward. Talk to us a little bit about your race strategy, first of all.
Podium, second behind Ali, is a win in my books.
True. Basically first place for Professor Chronotis.
Basically first place, right. Yeah, so I did really good to pick the left-hand side of the road off the straight and get past Menendez on turn 1, turn 2. And then Menendez got stuck behind Clemente for the first lap, which allowed me to have a decent little gap, which was good because he put in a better time than me in quali. He was less than a second behind Ali in quali. So that was really good that he got stuck behind like that. And yeah, then I picked the lap before Vasquez and Menendez and went faster than the two of them for that next lap. Or they both accidentally took tires. I don't think that's the case though. And,
They did
yeah,
decide to
and
take
came out
tires.
ahead of them. Who
They
took
both
tires?
decided to take tires. Luis
Oh,
Vasquez
okay. Well,
and
then I
Menendez.
beat them both only because they took tires.
It was pretty close there at the end.
or
I
at
think it
least,
was a 7-second
the
gap.
BMW.
Yeah,
At
over Nicholas Menendez, it was a 7-second gap. Luis Vasquez, I think, was
Yeah.
like 2.6 seconds away from you after the pit stop, and then
Yeah,
you
so
just
he
had
sold
that final
himself
lap
out.
left to go.
Yeah, they sold themselves out to me. That was nice of them. Thank you for the donation. I'd like to thank Menendez for taking tires.
Thank the guys at Pirelli very much for offering that free set of tires to Menendez, and Luis Vasquez offering those up was so generous and promoted you up into second place. Basically a win for Professor Chronotis, an amazing season from you overall. You must feel pretty good right now, on top of the world maybe.
Yeah, I feel like I won the race. That's pretty good. Good job, me. Self on the back.
I think this might be fourth place for you in the championship overall, as George Elmer and Justin Beachley both may have secured second and third place. And how do you feel about that standing right
Oh,
there?
I didn't know that. Top 5 in the championship. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool indeed, Mr. Chronotis. Pretty cool indeed. Congratulations on a wonderful finish. Do you have any other further comments or anybody that you want to thank before we let you go for this finale?
Yeah, I'd like to correct my previous thing. It should be thanking Vasquez, because he is the one who actually took the tires and gave me the position. It would have been inches ahead of Menendez. Anyway.
Understood. Well, thank you very much,
He doesn't
Mr.
get to be
Chronotis.
thanked. I would have beat him anyway.
I like it. I like the fire in the heart there, Chrono. But Chrono, thank you very much. And well, obviously, I hope to see you. We're obviously going to see you around. So we'll see you in the next championship, I'm sure.
Thanks for hosting, guys.
No
Thanks,
problem.
brother. Have a great day.
Next
And
up,
Chronos did that entire.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Chronotis did that entire interview while still driving on track, by the way.
That's just Chrono for you. Now, though, our actual race winner, everybody, not the fact that, we had our race winner in Chrono, that fact that he is the best of the rest, but the actual best of the field and the best of the championship, Ali Raza, adding one more rung to your belt, despite the fact that you did it last week. A bit of a hot lapping session. Just call it as it is.
Yeah, basically. Although the first lap I hit the wall. But I think it was pretty clean after that.
Yeah, I managed to, to be fair, I think Menendez had a pretty good gap to you for a good bit, or one of the AMGs. I was keeping you within a couple seconds for the first few laps, but by the time laps 3 rolled around, you were so far gone that it just didn't matter. You took tires at your pit stop because you could, which pretty much sums up your entire championship. I'd mentioned it during the broadcast, Ollie, but your recorded worst result is obviously you had a drop round. We don't count that. Your worst result in the championship was a P1.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That was a Grand Slam championship, I guess.
Yeah, literally. I mean, you're 100%. It is a Grand Slam championship with a Grand Slam race pretty much every time around. Hopefully in the next season, obviously we get a bit more competition. That's what we're looking for in the Open. But Ali, how was the championship from your perspective?
No, I think the beginning was great because I was fighting with Danny, but unfortunately he went away. Then it was just kind of smooth sailing for me. Although it was fun, I wanted to do this Nords race because I love driving GT4s here. So this was a fun race, anyways.
Your lap times were incredible. That's one thing. To the rest of the field, you were blisteringly quick. And just practice. Do you drive this track a lot? Is it just one that you end up liking? What's your secret here at the Nords?
Oh, Nords, it's been a long story. Since back in Gran Turismo 4 days, I've been just lapping this track over and over again. So it's ingrained in my brain. So I just know where to go.
Fair enough. It doesn't matter what you're driving.
Yeah, I just know the track very well.
Excellent. Well, Ali Raza, before we move on here and you take another championship, that's your, 9th championship? I think you're going to be the first person in double digits. But is there anyone you'd like to thank before we move on here tonight?
Oh man, thank you guys for putting on a show, and I have a significant other watching, so thank you for them watching as well.
Excellent. Unfortunately, they didn't get to see you too much out there tonight, which This might be my fault a little bit, but also your fault for driving so good. So I don't know, drive worse next time.
Drive worse.
Anyways, Ollie Raza, everybody, your championship winner here for the autumn season of the GT4 Open. Ollie, we'll see you around.
All right, thank you. See you around.
And lastly, why don't we have a word with our championship finisher, shall we, Saagar? Our new red plate champion finisher, as Alex Hansen has actually got to claim a title tonight. Welcome, Alex Hansen. How does it feel?
Hello, I'm sad.
Unfortunate
Why?
on the track position result, as I'm assuming why, but hey, he managed to muscle the championship out anyways, so.
For the track position result, I was just, please let me just finish the race. I gotta finish P7 to be the champion. Please let me finish. And I got stuck behind the slow Mercedes. I could not overtake him. He was so aggressive. And yeah, also I forgot to put fuel while I was repairing damage. I had to pit 2 times.
Yep, that's what I suspected, unfortunately. I've
GGs.
honestly never seen that before. I think that is the first time I've ever seen anyone pit for fuel and not take any, and it definitely put in a little dent in your strategy tonight. But, like I say, you had the rookie race earlier on where you were competing for the championship, couldn't quite get there, and now you have got there. You are a champion, and you can say that at the end of the day, so it's got to feel at least a little bit good.
Okay, I'm good now. Thank you.
Lovely. Well, that worked. No, but Alex, incredible season all the way around. I mean, looking at your results throughout the entirety of the championship, you have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 race wins to your name. So, I mean, heck, adding 1 more there, was it really that necessary?
I'm not really good at Nürburgring, so I was just hoping to finish the race without crashing. I crashed 2 times, so okay. But yeah, I managed to finish P5. It gave me enough points, so that's good.
C's get
It was awfully
degrees is
close
what we
getting
say
to
in
the
America.
line. Awfully close getting to the line there. Had you finished a couple points further down or a couple standings down, it would have been a lot closer to you and Casey Swansinger. It was 23 points separating you guys in the championship, and 16 points was what Swansinger was able to gain on you. So just literally a handful of points separating you guys now. I was biting my nails for you, Alex Hansen. I was rooting for you the entire time.
Thank you. Yeah, Swansinger, we had a really good fight, and I remember basically all the fights in every race. Tough guy, kind of aggressive, but really smart aggressive. Yeah, GG's.
Good race, brother. Good race overall, and I'm happy that you're able to take the top step of a championship, and hopefully we'll see you up in the pro category next season.
Yeah, I really enjoy racing in GT4. It was actually my first ever season in GT4. I got familiar with this Porsche, but nah, I'm gonna do with Mercedes next season probably.
Fair enough. Well, Alex, it's been a great season, and you can say that you are, in fact, a champion now. Is there anybody that you would like to thank before we do conclude this stream here tonight?
Yeah, I would like to thank some of the community guys for supporting me. I actually got some DMs saying like, too bad you couldn't win the race 1, race 2. Thank you guys. Also, my friend here in Discord, Yama. And yeah, the community and you guys, thank you for cheering me up all this time. And yeah, I'm glad that I could
Excellent.
manage to get this W.
Absolutely, Alex. Well, it's been a pleasure seeing you this season, and we certainly hope to see you in the next and future races to come. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your evening and enjoy the champagne.
Thank you, you as well.
That is going to conclude it. Now, before you go, hold up before you click that X button and leave this stream. I have a little bit of an announcement to make for the off season because, of course, we are going to be having a bit of a break here at TRACKILICIOUS. That's the elephant in the room. We have a couple one-off races coming up, but championship-wise, we'll be resuming back in January. So, in the meantime, we have a couple friends over at some other communities as well. The exclamation mark F or 5FI guys are going to be hosting a championship over for the M2s and the GT4s. That sounds like something interesting to you. That'll be during the winter seasons here while we are off. And I highly recommend checking it out. There'll be a lot of different drivers out there. Saagar, Bakshi, one of them out on track as well. So if you want a chance to race with the commentator here in the booth, then go ahead and head on over. Unfortunately, I don't got my SimRig set up, so I can't. Otherwise, I would. But I highly recommend getting involved in the 5F5 racing, guys. The Discord is linked in the description on YouTube, and the championship is linked on YouTube as well. Same with Twitch. You can find that link over in chat. But Saagar, before we conclude here tonight, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Just wanted to thank everybody for a wonderful season and championship. You guys have been so entertaining and a lovely crowd to entertain. Thank you very much for all the love and support you guys have been able to give. And as always, please remember to stay safe out there.
Absolutely. And on that note, we are going to be concluding the Trackalicious seasons for the year. And I hope everybody has a great holiday season. We are, of course, going to be streaming Spooky Suzuki coming up as well. So definitely check that out. But I hope everyone has a great holiday season. I hope everyone has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.